Welcome to TBN Game Day Live, your home for St. James football pregame show alongside Zachary Wolz and Isaac Wolitz and Jonathan May. I'm Will Nichols, and St. James volleyball had a very nice week last week, coming off a sweep of Miege in the Lemon Out and a four wins, one loss in St. Louis. Boys soccer also winning 7-0 on Tuesday, but the big news: St. James losing 28-7 to St. Thomas Aquinas. St. James won week one against Bishop Miege, but now losing to St. Thomas Aquinas. Jonathan, what were some of the issues you saw in that game for St. James?
I think it was the line play. I mean, we talked about it a lot in the booth, Will. Offensive, defensive line just wasn't winning the line of scrimmage like they were in that Bishop Miege game. And really, we saw just how crucial that is, because game one, our offense and defense were kind of getting whatever they want because they were winning that battle. Game two, not necessarily the case. Aquinas just looked better. They looked a little sharper. And it was really the tale of two different games. So definitely looking to improve that play. Nice bounce back next week against Blue Valley Northwest.
Yeah, I think we really beat ourselves there. We had 3 turnovers in 2 turnover on downs, and that really killed all the momentum for the Thunder. You know, we just couldn't get anything going on offense, especially in that run game and the deep ball game, with that O-line just getting dominated all game.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Tough O-line game. The run game really wasn't there for St. James. Zach, what do you think St. James needs to do to kind of get that run game back this week for St. James?
St. James needs to find the consistency they were lacking last week and discipline on defense, being able to stop the run and stay true to their assignments for whatever Blue Valley Northwest throws at them.
Yeah, I agree for sure. You know, really in that first half until that very last possession, they just couldn't get anything going. We finally saw they switched it up a little at last possession, went to more of the QB draw game, more kind of short passes, and they do need that consistency, like you said, Zach. They have to be able to find a rhythm, and the offense has to be able to stay on the field to give the defense time to rest. The defense was out there far too much in that game, and with the way Aquinas plays especially, it's very taxing on them. They get worn down very easily, so the offense has got to be able to put together sustained drives so that the defense can rest.
Yeah, it's common sense, Jonathan, really. When your defense is on the field for about 45 minutes in a game like that, you just don't have very much time to score. You know, there's not enough time for your offense to get going. Like you said, obviously, attrition wearing in as well for the Thunder. So St. James playing back-to-back rivalry games to start out the season. This week they got Blue Valley Northwest. That should be a good competition this week. Excited to see how that one goes. 3, 2, 1. So St. James facing off with Blue Valley Northwest this week. A lot to correct. Zach, what's one thing you want to see St. James kind of improve upon after last game?
I think it's very important if the defense can hold up against Blue Valley Northwest offense. I know they've got some really explosive receivers, really fast receivers, and they've got really good game there, but also you got to look out for their ground game and just be able to stop that consistently and put the ball back in the offense's hands.
Yeah, St. James, they did a pretty good job against Miege, actually, week one on defense, 28 points, but still played better than that. Really struggled last week, and you see him improve against that run game this week.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, against Miege, most of those points given up in the second half when a lot of the JV players were in. And then kind of you saw it flip on its head against Aquinas. Struggled to stop the run game, struggled to bring down those runners. But additionally, like I believe Will talked about earlier, or maybe it was Isaac, 3 turnovers in that game. That's got to change. St. James has to value the possession of the football. They can't have any of the careless mistakes, 2 muffed snaps last game. That's just a lack of discipline, a lack of being on the same page. And so I think that's going to be something that this week in practice they've really worked on and they've really put an emphasis on. So that way you don't have 3 less possessions to go try and score, especially if, like you said, they have a very explosive offense, especially if you know your defense is going to give up points. You need to score in order to, again, keep them off the field and stay in the game.
And Isaac said it earlier, you can't beat yourself. Good thing for St. James, 2 of those 3 turnovers, like you said, Jonathan, they were muff snaps. Those are things you don't see very often. Very easy to correct. You just snapped the ball to the quarterback.
Yeah, I think we need to bring that deep ball back. In week 1 against Miege, we had a big success throwing up Parker Chase and Sam Neeson deep down the middle of the field. And then here against Aquinas, we could not do that. We didn't have the time with the O-line. They could not block enough. So we need to get back with the good O-line this week and start taking some more deep balls to get some good momentum boost there.
Yeah, and guys, what do you think is the bigger key for this deep ball game of St. James? These receivers getting open a little bit faster, maybe this O-line giving Tyson a little bit more time to get the ball out?
I'm going to go with the O-line. I think we saw it in week 1 that Parker and Sam and really any of our top 4 or 5 receivers can create separation and can get open downfield if they have time to do it. Also, credit kind of to Joshi's scheme. He's got a lot of good plays to get these receivers open. So I think as long as Tyson has a clean pocket to throw to them and doesn't have to throw off balance, off his back foot, I think they're very capable of getting open, and it's going to be on that offensive line to just give time for those downfield routes to develop. I agree with Isaac. I think it's really easy to say that, we need to throw the ball deep, but there's a lot more than just throwing the ball deep that goes into that.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of both. After week 1, Parker and Sam got a little bit more attention. The corners dropped back a little bit with some more safety help. But the O-line also got dominated, so I think it's a little bit of both. Both can, the O-line can improve, but yeah, we're going to have to start throwing to different receivers as Parker and Sam get more attention.
Absolutely. And then looking ahead to this week, Zach, we're looking at a Blue Valley Northwest team that has a few really, really good receivers, but that O-line, it's going to be really tough, and they're going to be able to throw the ball deep when they want to, you would think, in this game as well.
Oh, yeah, Blue Valley Northwest with 2, 4 or 5-star linemen on there, both at tackle. It's going to be really hard to generate pressure on their QB. So I think it's really important that we dominate the line of scrimmage and avoid those costly turnovers. Three turnovers in the red zone last week, so.
Not ideal for the Thunder. You talked about it a little bit. Really good O-lines can be a really good challenge for St. James' defensive line. They didn't play great last week, but they were the standout group against Miege week 1, so that should be a good challenge for St. James.
For sure, and especially I think the secondary is going to definitely have to have a bounce-back game after last week. Obviously, they kind of get lulled to sleep by that Aquinas run game, kind of gave up some easy passes and a touchdown last week, so they're really going to have to dial back in, especially like you said, the Northwest quarterback is going to have a lot of time to sit in that pocket and find his receiver. So they're really going to have to be at the top of their game this week as well.
Yeah, and just like Aquinas Northwest, heavy run team. So DBs, again, can't be keyed in on that run so much that their speedy receivers just burn them deep and get touchdowns again.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to Jonathan's point earlier, discipline. That's really what you want to see. Secondary has to have some discipline in this game for St. James to have a shot against a really good Blue Valley Northwest team. All right, now it is time to pick some games. You're picking our top 5 games of the week. Let's look at the last 2 weeks. Zachary and Isaac both at 5-5. Jonathan's at 6-4. I'm at 7-3. Currently still in the lead back-to-back weeks. We're going to keep that streak going today.
We're all at least 500. So.
Yeah, over 500. I'll take it.
Yeah.
First game of the week here. It's Olathe North versus Lawrence High. This should be a good one. Zach, who do you got in this one?
I like Lawrence High. I think they've been kind of made it best for the last couple of years, but I think they make it over the hump. Olathe North been struggling. They're 0-2, and I think Lawrence High is playmakers, especially at QB. I think they can make it happen.
Jonathan, who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Zach on this one. I think that 0-2 record speaks a little bit more after 2 weeks. I think Lawrence High's got this one.
Yep, same thing going Lawrence High. North 0-2, and neither game was super close, so Lawrence High.
Yeah, and I'm unfortunately going to have to go Lawrence High here as well. Banks Bowen at quarterback, son of Clint Bowen, longtime KU coach. Really love what they got going on over there. I think they're going to win. Close game, though. I think it's going to be a close one. Next game we're picking here, Free State High versus Mill Valley. Jonathan, who do you got in this one?
I am going to take Mill Valley in this one after I did pick them to lose last week. I ruined Will's season prediction, said they were going to go undefeated to another state championship, and I knew they weren't. So I picked Lee Summit North over them last week. Lee Summit North fortunately won that, but I am going to go back to Mill Valley this week because even though they lost, they are still a very talented team, and so I think they got this one.
Yeah, I also agree. I'm going back with Mill Valley. They played Lee Summit North tight game. They only lost by 2 possessions, so I think they'll bounce back.
Yeah, Jonathan said it. Prediction down the drain in 2 weeks. Don't love that, but I'm still going to go Mill Valley here. I think, like you guys were saying, kind of a bounce-back game for them.
Kind of like our KU prediction for this year.
Yeah, we don't need to talk about that.
Yeah, the Jayhawks aren't looking too good.
I like Mill Valley too. Free State is probably the little brother to Lawrence High nowadays. So I think Mill Valley just rebounds and finds a really good, consistent blowout win because week 1 they really struggled against only the South team, 5 turnovers. I think they play their best football now.
Yeah, you hope Free State doesn't find that clip of you saying that. They're going to clip that if you're not careful. Next one we got here, Capon versus Wichita East. Isaac, who you got in this one?
I'm going Capon. They're 2-0. Wichita East got shut out last week, so yeah, they're going to lose.
I'm going to go Wichita East here. I see real low-scoring game. Like you said last week, they got shut out, but they only lost 14-0. So I think, if there was a line on this one, I would take the under, but I'm still going to go Wichita East.
I like Wichita East here over Capon. I think Capon lost a lot of their playmakers from last year's runner-up squad in 5A. I think Wichita East really good. They just need to find some more consistency at the QB position and make a run to the playoffs, have another chance at beating Northwest.
I am going to agree with Zach and Will on this one. I'm going to leave Isaac as the only Capon picker. I'll go Wichita East. Like you said, Zach, I think they have a bounce-back week. No team likes being shut out, obviously. So I think they come back against a Capon team that, like you said, lost some guys from last year. I think they can pull it out this week.
All right, so we got St. Thomas Aquinas versus Blue Valley next game here. 2 pretty good teams in EKL that St. James is going to have to watch out for. I'm going to pick first here. I think Aquinas wins just by a bit. I think it's going to be a close game, but you saw that was a really good Aquinas team St. James played against last week. A lot of veterans on that team. So I'm going to go Aquinas, but I think it will be a close game.
I like Blue Valley in this one. Blue Valley is better at stopping the run than a lot of other teams in the EKL, and Blue Valley's been tested already this season, and they've proved that they're legit. I like them to shut down the
Yeah, I'm also going to agree with Zach. Kind of hurts me to be agreeing with Zach this much on the show, but yeah, I'm going to also take Blue Valley. I think they're a really talented team, and they have a little bit more size than the Thunder, so I think that's going to definitely help with stopping that run game. And then I think their offense is explosive enough to put up more than 7 points, so I'll take Blue Valley.
Yeah, Will's going to be alone here. I'm also going Blue Valley. They have a couple studs on defense, linebacker, and on the edge. They can stop that run pretty good.
All right, last game of the week here, we're picking Bishop Miege versus Blue Valley West, 2 of the lower teams in the EKL right now. Jonathan, who do you got in this one?
I'm going to take Blue Valley West. I know they did have that close loss to Aquinas week 1. Miege has been 0-2. I know we talked a little bit about week 1, how they're inexperienced. It might take a while to ramp up. They might be a little better than they were week 1, but I don't think they're good enough yet to beat Blue Valley West, especially Tate Nagy at quarterback, very good. So I'm going to go West.
This is a tough one for me. I just can't see Miege starting 0-3. So for that reason, I'm going to say Bishop Miege, although they probably won't win.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go Blue Valley West here, and I think this is a blowout. I think Blue Valley West big win here. This MH team just didn't impress me very much when St. James played in week 1. You said it, Jonathan. I think at the end of the year, this is a team that is going to kind of come on as the playoffs begin, but I just don't see it right now. I think Blue Valley West by 3+ touchdowns.
Yeah, I like Blue Valley West big as well. Miege defense been giving up like 42 points a game. And you know how Blue Valley West is, explosive offense, electric QB. I just don't see how Miege can contain that.
Right. And now we want to debut a new segment on the show called the Directional Game. There's so many schools in this, KC region, Olathe, Blue Valley, and Shawnee Mission schools with lots of directions that, frankly, we don't know very well. So we're going to test our knowledge right here next.
This kid, Zach, before the show said that he knows every single mascot. So
yeah, we're going to have to test that.
Wait, we're guessing. Not that hard.
We can. That's part of it.
So, name this mascot based on their colors, orange and blue.
Olathe East Hawks. Come on.
Wow, that was fast.
What a guy.
I told you.
Oh,
I'm
man.
Ready for that.
Come on.
This school's colors are maroon and black.
Maroon and black.
I think it's Shawnee Mission School.
Is that the Shawnee Mission North Bison?
They're
Oh,
maroon.
yeah.
They are not maroon.
Yeah,
that's
true.
maroon.
And
That is
oh.
not maroon.
That's really red. Look it up.
Okay.
Maroon is red.
But maroon's
I
dark,
didn't think
swear.
about that.
We're learning our colors here. Yeah, that does look red.
That's red.
That does look
Come
red.
on.
We're going to
I was looking at the gym floor.
it's just
Oh,
what
that's
I'm,
fair.
my goodness.
That's fair.
Hey, look at the gym floor.
That gym floor.
All right.
On Apple Maps.
I hate to be
All
that
right.
guy. That gym floor was built in
Okay.
1902.
Regardless, you still got it right.
Yeah, 2-0. Come on, guys, step it up.
All right. Easy one here. This
Sorry.
colors are
Oh, what's it say?
purple and black.
Blue Valley
Blue Valley
Northwest.
I said it first.
Huskies.
Give me
I
that.
like
Give me
Jonathan
that.
there.
We'll give it to Will.
I
Thank
said the
you, thank you.
mascot. I said the
Well,
mascot.
Well, I know the mascot.
I like.
You didn't
Jonathan.
say it.
Yes, I
The
do.
game is against the mascot.
You're wrong.
Yeah. Yes. Come
All
on, 3-0.
All right.
On a technicality, but I don't care.
Jeez.
All right. We're going to go with the more difficult question.
Okay.
What is the oldest high school in Johnson County?
Shawnee Mission North.
It is
Olathe North.
Shawnee Mission
Olathe
East.
North. It's Olathe.
Dang it. Yeah,
Like
What's
the
their
North.
mascot?
Eagles.
Yeah, there
I
you
had
go.
no idea.
Come on now. I knew it was one of them too.
All the Olathe schools are birds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here, last one.
All right, last one. Top directional school.
Based on population, what is the largest school in the state of Kansas?
Wichita East.
Which, yeah.
That's too
Mays
easy.
South.
Dang it.
Come on now.
That's what I was gonna say,
East?
dude.
That's too easy.
You're
That's
such
too
a
easy.
nerd for knowing
Why do you
that.
know that?
It's too easy.
It's a big city,
how many
man.
people do
It's a
they
big
have?
city.
Yeah. how many-
2100.
That's the biggest in the
Dang.
state.
Let's look right now. Let's fact check that.
Yeah. How close is he?
They're
I feel
playing
like it's got to
games
be
with
more
like
than
1,000
that.
people.
It has to be 2,300.
It's
That's
not
a good
po-
guess.
Okay, so
That's
it's
the
not
biggest?
That's the
population,
that's
it's
the enrollment. Well, I don't care. It gave me the enrollment. So, all right. For Zachary Woolson, Jonathan May, and Isaac Wolitz, I'm Will Nichols. Thank you so much for joining us here on TBN Game Day Live. Now let's send it up to the booth with Will Nichols and Jonathan May.
Did you just refer to yourself in the third person?
I did. I did.
Zach, you
I'm that
gotta.
guy.
Zach, put the
Are you ready?
Joint on the corner where the big boys claim.
Remote is plugged in. No dice. Yeah, it should be near the dial and the zoom thing on top. Yeah. Now it works. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to recognize the seniors in the football program. First up is Max Burns, football manager, son of Dan and Karen. Dear Mom and Dad, I will ever be eternally grateful for all that you have sacrificed for me. Have fun dealing with Lucy and Leo. From your most beloved child, Max Burns. Next up is Audrey Kearns, daughter of Philip and Julie. Other activities include Thunder Service Club, House Captain, NHS, Spark Plug. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for everything you have done for me over the last 18 years. Mom, I'm going to miss having you at school with me to print my assignments last minute or let me hang out in your room. Dad, good luck now that you only have Mom and Alice at home with you. I love you both and we'll miss you a ton. Audrey Kearns. Next up is Aaron Mead, daughter of Heather and Dennis. Other activities include Be Somebody President, Thunder Service Club, Student Advancement, Thunder for Life, SJ Strong, Soccer. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for giving me the gift of a Catholic education these last 13 years, filling the stands at all my sporting events, and being there for me when I needed it most. Love you both, Aaron Mead. Next up is Meredith Peterson, daughter of Rick and Lori. Other activities include co-president of Thunder Service Club, House Captain, and NHS. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for everything you have sacrificed for me over the years. I will infinitely appreciate the many car rides, delicious dinners, and endless support. Good luck, Lexi. Love your favorite daughter, Meredith Peterson. Next is Isaac Wolitz, son of Brad and Jody. Other activities include Thunder Broadcasting Network, men's volleyball, and CYO basketball. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for sending me to St. James and for all you have done for me. Have fun with Maggie and Mia next year. Take care of my dog Bruno. Love, Isaac Wolitz. And now we're ready for the players. First is number 9, Max Albright, son of Chris and Christina. Other activities include bowling. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for being my biggest supporters in every aspect of my life. Mom, thank you for always making sure the pantry and fridge is loaded with food. And Dad, thank you for teaching me every work I need. Love your best son, Max Albright. Next is number 15, Tyson Beshore, son of Chad and Autumn. Other activity is track. Dear Mom and Dad, thanks for everything you guys do for me, including sending me here to St. James. Thank you for always supporting me and my siblings, always going to our games, and just being present in our lives. Love you guys. Tyson Beshore. Next is number 32, Jack Bevitt, son of Jeff and Jennifer. Other activities include bowling, track, NHS. Dear Mom and Dad, thanks for everything you have done for me and guiding me through my life. Good luck with Michael. God knows you need it. Love the middle child, Jack Bevitt. Next is number 40, James Bicklemeyer, son of Jeremy and Julia. Other activities include theater, volleyball, and tennis. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you so much for putting up with me over the years and try not to miss me too much when I go off to college. Sorry that I'm leaving the board empty, but you've got Duck and Dilly to keep you company. Love you guys. James Bicklemeyer. Next is number 10, Jordan Boone, son of Joe and Angie. Other activity is House Captain. Dear Mom and Dad, you guys have been such a blessing in my life. Thank you for all the love and support given me throughout the years. I am proud to be called your son. Love you guys. Jordan Boone. Next is number 5, Owen Brady, son of Nicholas and Christine. Other activities include CYO basketball, track, and bowling. Mom and Dad, thank you for always providing for me and giving me the best setup possible for success. Thank you for paying all my medical bills. I love you guys. Owen Brady. Next is number 50, Jackson Cantu. Son of Rick and Rose. Other activities include bowling, track and field, NHS, house captain. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for always loving and supporting me throughout my life. Thank you for all the late night conversations talking about random things. I'm going to miss you both so much next year. Good luck with the twins. Love your son, Jackson Cantu. Next is number 3, Parker Chase. Son of Myron and Amy. His other activity is track.
Okay, so I'm not familiar.
Thank you guys so much for all the support over the years. I don't know where I would be without you both. Love you guys. Parker Chase.
What do you want me to do?
Number 4, Aiden Dryling. Son of Casey and Jennifer. His other activity is basketball. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you guys for everything you have done for me, sending me to this school, and all the people you have introduced me to. I am so thankful for you guys letting me play this sport. I love you, Aiden Dryling.
Cover is open.
Next is number 7, Ben Drury. Son of Chris and Debbie. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for all your love and support. You both inspire me to be a better person every day. I'm going to miss you so much when I go off to college. Love you always. Your son, Ben Drury. Next is number 20, Jack
I'm going to try to go like this.
Son of Chance and Christina. Other activities include track and field, bowling, house captain, under service club, SJA Strong, and yearbook. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for everything you do for me. Thank you for always supporting me in the decisions I make. Thank you, Dad, for being the best father and role model I could ever ask for. And Mom, thank you for always being there for me whenever I needed you the most. Good luck having the house all to yourself. I love you guys a bunch. Your son, Jack Gray. Next is number 13, Noah Hornback. Son of Joe and Melissa. Other activities include basketball. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for supporting me for all my years of sports. I love you. Good luck with John. Love your son, Noah Hornback. Next is number 60, Carter Jasperson. Son of Ryan and Megan. Other activities include track and field. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for everything you do for me and always being there for me. Much love, Carter Jasperson. Next is number 36, Brogan Jaworski. Son of Steve and Tina. Other activities include baseball. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for everything you have done to support me. By sending me to SJA, I have become a better human being and grown in my spiritual life. I'll miss you guys. I love you. Brogan Jaworski. Next is number 92, Ben Johnson. Son of Ed and Jennifer. His other activities include track and field. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for allowing me to play the game I love and sacrifice lots of time and money to let me play. I wouldn't be where I am without you guys. You guys mean so much to me. Love you, Ben Johnson. Next is number 66, Jack Marsha. Son of Todd and Jennifer. Other activities include track and field, Spirit Club, and is member of Student Advancement Committee. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for everything you have given me over the years we've been together. Your love and support mean the world to me. Take care of the dog when I'm gone. Love your son, Jack Marsha. Next is number 61, Brock McKenzie. Son of Mark and Janice. His other activity is baseball. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for always being there for me and being my biggest supporter. Dad, thank you for pushing me to be the best. Mom, thank you for always cheering me on. Love you guys. Brock, McKenzie. Next, number 72, Luke Neff. Son of Micah and Amy. Other activities include student advancement and rugby. Mom and Dad, thank you for all of the sacrifices you have made for me. I know I don't say it enough, but I really appreciate the life you have given me. I hope you guys don't lose your minds without the extra help at home. Have fun with Logan, Laney, and Lila next year. Luke, Neff. Next, number 6, Sam Neeson. Son of Gilbert and Deborah. Other activities include basketball, golf, and community captain. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for all the support you have given me over the years. I appreciate the sacrifices you have made and providing me an opportunity to accomplish my dreams. Love you both. Sam Neeson. Next, number 29, William Patterson. Son of Jeff and Jillian. His other activities include rugby. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for always being there for me and encouraging me to try out new things. I wouldn't be the man that I am today without your support and love. Don't miss me too much. Your favorite son, Will Patterson. Next, number 31, Trey Patrick. Son of Robert and Jody. Other activities include baseball, NHS, house captain. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you so much for your support throughout my football career. From giving me a ride to my practices in grade school to being there on Friday nights. I will be forever grateful. Love, Trey Patrick. Next, number 12, Logan Bruno. Son of Roma and Jacqueline. Other activities include volleyball, spirit club, and marketing department intern. Dear Mom and Dad, I love you guys so much, and thank you for everything you've done. I will forever be indebted to the sacrifices you've made for me and Morgan. Don't miss me too much when I leave. Love, Logan Bruno. Next, number 90, Max Requet. Joy. Other activities include men's volleyball. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for sending me to SJA. The community here means a lot to me. Dad, thank you for recording every single play, even though I told you I'd get a better intro from the game plan. Thank you, Mom, for being my biggest fan. Love you all. Max Requet. Next, number 34, Hank Schreiner. Son of Matt and Gwen. Other activities include bowling and track and field. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for all you've done for me in the past, present, and hopefully in the future. I love you both very much. Hank Schreiner. Next, number 24, Will Schuster. Son of Jeff and Shannon. Other activities include football and NHS. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for all the sacrifices you've made for me. I don't know where I would be without your constant love and support. I will miss you both so much next year. Yours truly, Huey Will Schuster. Next, number 19, Aiden Gahan. Son of Scott and Nancy. Other activities include rugby captain. Thank you, Dad, for all you have done for me in the past 18 years. Hope you don't get bored at home without me. Love you, Aiden Gahan. Next is number 22, Connor Gahan. Son of Scott and Nancy. Other activities include track. Dear Dad, thank you for all you do for me, sticking with me through thick and thin, and helping me pursue my football career. I'm so thankful to have you as my dad, Connor Gahan. Next, number 37, Nick Starkey. Son of Aaron and Suzanne. Other activities include captain of the rugby teams. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for always supporting me in everything I do. I love you both, and sorry for all the medical bills. Nick Starkey. Next, number 21, Evan Taylor. Son of Kelly and Karen. Other activities include wrestling. Dear Mom and Dad, I love you both, and I'm very grateful for the time you take out of your days to care for me. It means a lot, and I would not be the person I am today. Love, Evan Taylor. Next, number 25, John Trujak. Son of Jerry and Lucy. Other activities include track, NHS, SKA Strong, and campus ministry. Dear Mom and Dad, thanks for being my dog, for real. Good luck next year, having no kids for the first time in 30 years. John Trujak. Number 8, Jude Wonder. Son of Jim and Jennifer. Other activities include baseball and Thunder Broadcasting Network. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for the countless hours you guys have spent taking me to and from practice and games. Thank you, Mom, for always being my biggest fan. Thanks, Dad, for always being my biggest coach. Love you guys. Jude Wonder. Let's have one more round of applause for all of our seniors in the football hall.
This broadcast is a product of St. James Academy. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of the pictures and accounts of this Thunder Broadcasting Network production without the express written consent of St. James Academy is prohibited.
Ames Academy Thunder set their sights on the Huskies of Blue Valley Northwest. And good evening, Thunder fans. I'm Will Nichols alongside Jonathan May, and we welcome you to St. Thomas Aquinas High School as the Thunder hope to rebound after last week's loss in a game against Blue Valley Northwest. Jonathan, what does St. James fans need to be looking for tonight?
Well, Will, this is a St. James team looking to get back how they played in Week 1's victory over Bishop Miege. The Thunder's high-powered offense from Week 1, led by quarterback Tyson Beshore, must return against this talented Blue Valley Northwest team.
Absolutely. After St. James's 44-28 W against Bishop Miege, they took a step back with a 3-touchdown loss to St. Thomas Aquinas last week. Meanwhile, Blue Valley Northwest enters this game 2-0 on the season, putting up over 30 points in both games.
Yeah, and this Blue Valley Northwest offense should be a great challenge for this experienced St. James defense. They have a phenomenal run game led by a pair of standout tackles and Andrew Babaloa and Brock Heath at left and right tackle respectively, and a solid pass game to keep the defense honest. St. James defense has their work cut out for them tonight.
Should be a good one. The Thunder and Huskies next on TBN. Stay tuned for the prayer and national anthem.
Good evening, football fans. Welcome to St. Thomas Aquinas High School. Our game tonight features the Huskies of Blue Valley Northwest and the Thunder of St. James Academy. Please assist us in the promotion and achievement of good sportsmanship by keeping this contest at a high level of fair, clean, and wholesome competition. Thank you for your cooperation. Please stand for our prayer. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Thank you, Lord, for the grace and gifts of our athletic abilities that bring us to this event. Bless these athletes, protect them from injury, and help all who gather around this field to enjoy the traditions of competition and sportsmanship. May St. James the Greater help us to be victorious over all our difficulties and lead us to be witnesses to your love. In your name we pray. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Please remain standing as we honor America with our national anthem, sung by Sidney Conrad and Avery O'Hara, and signing the anthem tonight is Mary Claire Wilson.
similar to the keys to the last game. I think offensive line play is going to be very important once again. It was really a tale of two different games, but against Aquinas and Miege, they've got to get back to that Miege form in order for the second key, which is to be aggressive in the passing attack. We saw it in week 1 against Miege. Lots of downfield passes. They really pushed the ball down the field with Parker and Sam Neeson, and we look to them to get back to that because their offense was really humming. On the defensive side of the ball, they've got to be able to stop the run. This Blue Valley Northwest team is a heavy run team, even though they do have a very capable passing game. And the defense is going to have to be better than they were last week against Aquinas at stopping that run game. Because if you stop that run game, that messes up their whole offensive mojo. Their rhythm is thrown off, and you can really get some momentum going.
Absolutely, Jonathan. And all those things you just said were things St. James did really good at in week 1, right? Did a great job in the run-stopping game, forcing Miege to pass a lot. You also saw the downfield passing game really as good as we've seen it in years here at St. James, and the O-line giving Beshore a ton of time and Tujak a lot of holes to run through. St. James needs to find that consistency. Last week, like we talked about earlier, a little bit of a step back for the St. James team. You saw a team that struggled to defend a run. Like you said, we're going to see a lot of that tonight. That's going to be headlined by a couple star linemen you see them as captains right now, number 55, Brock Heath, number 65, Andrew Babaloa. Both guys getting a lot of national attention right now.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's going to be a really good challenge for our defensive line. Obviously, especially our defensive ends, Aiden Dreiling, Max Uquette, players we've talked a lot about throughout the course of the beginning of the season. And I think it's going to be really important that both or just one of them is able to get a little bit of pressure on the quarterback to take some of that strain off the secondary, because we know even in high school, quarterbacks, wide receivers are good enough where if you just give them 5 seconds in the pocket, they're going to dot you up and be able to move the ball down the field.
Absolutely. This is a Blue Valley Northwest team. They've had 2 different quarterbacks play for them. They've had number 2, Ford Bevins, number 15, Nathan Baxter, both senior quarterbacks, but they have played about 50% of snaps each, so that'll be something to note today, see which one comes out there. But like you said, it's going to be a big challenge for St. James going up against Babaloa and Heath. It's also going to be a big challenge on their side, though. Riquette and Dreiling, a couple seniors. This is a Blue Valley Northwest team. They're probably used to having their tackles dominate. If St. James can even just make that maybe close to a net neutral, St. James is going to be in a really good spot today. Ben Johnson is going to be kicking off for the Thunder. It's going to be Trevor Garlington and Logan Chandler, a couple receivers. Trevor Garlington and Barron Marshall both back to return. Barron Marshall, a true freshman out here, already getting some national attention as well. I believe he has an offer from Auburn. And then Trevor Garlington, the star receiver on this Blue Valley Northwest team, will be saying both their names a lot tonight. From the 40, here is Johnson, and we're off. High end-over-end kick. It's going to go out the back of the end zone. And now here come out the St. James starting lineup on senior night. This is the St. James team that starts a lot of seniors. We're seeing 8 seniors start on the defense here, 3 juniors in as well. And it's going to be Nathan Baxter, number 15, the quarterback out here tonight. 4 receiver formation. We're going to see a lot of that today with LJ Bowens at running back. It's going to be an RPO give to Bowens. Hornback brings him down. Nice gain of about 5 for the Huskies.
And one thing you're going to see a lot tonight, as Will said, is that 4-wide set. Now, Blue Valley Northwest doesn't really use a tight end all that much. They really just go with those 5 linemen and the 4 wide receivers. So, I mean, obviously, when you see that, you think pass, but their run game is deadly. So St. James is really going to have to be on their toes tonight.
Yeah, and having those receivers, it spreads out the defense. It's going to be a quick RPO here. Almost picked off by Hornback. Really close on that one. Pass intended for Logan Chandler. And Hornback almost getting an interception. We saw him get one earlier in the year. And just barely missed that one.
Yeah, week 1 versus Miege, he came down with one. And really this whole season, he's been a very good player. He's been able to read a lot of these routes very well, get a nice jump on them, better than a lot of the secondary players that you'll see in the EKL.
Bunch to the left of Baxter. It's going to be a give to the back. Bowens still fighting. Skahan pushes him back. They're going to blow it dead. It looks like he's going to be getting the first down. That's what they're going to signal. And St. James wasn't ready for the run on third down.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about, the passing game is deadly, but you got to stop that run game first. That's what Blue Valley Northwest hangs their hat on. That's what they want to do, is just run the ball. So you've got to look to stop that first before you can worry about really any of the other facets of the game.
So 1st and 10 here from the 30-yard line. Garlington in motion. They're going to give to Garlington. Makes Raquette miss. And he is hit hard there. Big hit by Hank Schreiner, the linebacker for the Thunder.
Great pursuit there from the linebackers on the D-line. Max Raquette gets in the backfield, and like you said, Will, make that tackle a neutral position group. You don't want to give them the advantage. Max Raquette does a great job slowing them down in the backfield so that we can get them down for the loss.
So that's going to make it a 2nd down and 12 here. St. James getting the Huskies behind the sticks is going to be really important tonight. It's going to make that run game just a little bit harder to execute. They're going to give to Bowens. He has a big hole to run through. Finally brought down after a gain of 7. Boydston and Hornback on the tackle.
I think you made a good point there, Will, and it's something we talked a lot about last week, is those negative plays on early downs really do make it tough for the run-heavy offenses, because when you've got only 2 plays to go 12 yards, that's a lot more difficult than 2 plays to go 5 yards. And so that's going to really be a key for the Thunder if they can get those negative plays early.
So 3rd down and 5 here. Both teams looking to the sidelines right now. 10 is on the play clock. 5 on the clock. It's going to be inverted Rita here, and he's not quite going to get the first. Gets 3, maybe 4. And Lero making the first contact there, and it's going to be 4th and short, and now the Huskies have a tough decision to make.
I think you go for it personally if you're Blue Valley. Their run game has picked up at least 1 yard on every single run up the middle. Really, I think it's a no-brainer for them. Got to go for it here. They're an aggressive team. We know that. They're looking to put up, as you said, Will, 30 points at least in every game this season. They're looking to put up points.
So 4th and 1, they are going to go for it. Big play for the D-line here. Bowens looks like he fights forward. He's going to get the first by a couple yards. Up to the 43 is where that forward progress stopped. So a gain of 4, and the risky 4th down decision there works out for the Huskies.
We've seen so far on this drive, every single play has been a run. I think it's going to be very important for St. James. You know, last week we kind of saw the secondary get lulled to sleep a little bit. That's not going to be possible this game. They're going to have to stay on it, going to have to remain vigilant for that passing game.
Back to the spread formation for the Huskies. 3 minutes already elapsed off the clock. It's going to be a quick pass to the far side. Boydston almost gets the tackle, doesn't finish it off. And it's going to be a gain of about 10, maybe 11 yards there for the Huskies, and they're going to give them the first down on the quick bubble screen to Chandler.
That's a good play call, taking advantage of that little gap in the weak side flat of the field. You know, St. James doesn't play safety down low over there, and I think Blue Valley Northwest just recognized that and said, hey, we're going to throw the ball over there. We got the one-on-one block with the corner, and we're going to make the safety miss, and it worked out pretty well for him.
So now 3 receivers to Baxter's right, tight end on the left. They're going to give to Bowens. A little bit of a counter run. He is on his feet still, and ball is out. And they're going to whistle it dead. Drury helped force the ball out, but I think Bowens was down by just a bit. St. James coaching staff not happy with that one. And it's going to be a gain of 9. Flag is on the play. It looks like it's on the Huskies. It is going to be a hold on Blue Valley Northwest, so that's going to back them up.
St. James kind of catches a break here with that holding call because, I mean, credit to Blue Valley Northwest. The run game has looked very strong. We know this is a very good offensive line, like you said, will headlined by those 2 star tackles. But the Thunder defense has not opened this drive very well in regards to stopping the run game. It's been, you know, Blue Valley Northwest is a team that averages 7 yards a carry, and it's been about that all night. St. James is really going to have to crack down on that.
So 1st down and 20 here for the Huskies. They are letting this clock go down very fast. Already 4+ minutes elapsed. They're pretty much within 10 seconds every time on the play clock. It's going to be Bowens up the middle again. hard hit by Dreiling to bring him down. Still a nice gain of 4, but still a 2nd and 16, long way to go to get that first down.
For sure, and this is what we're talking about, this second and very long. I think it's reasonable that we see another pass coming on this drive, but they do have to be careful. This team does have the ability to pick up 16, 20 yards on the ground in 2 plays, so we'll see what they go with.
Yeah, and St. James needs to be ready for that quick pass. We saw the little bubble screen earlier, but St. James cornerbacks Connor Scahan and Ben Drury, they need to be ready to get up there and face some blockers early on in the play. 2nd and 16, it is going to be a pass. First downfield shot of the day. Baxter tries to tuck. Gets a nice roll forward for about 3 on a play that looked like it was going to be a sack, but still a 3rd and long. The St. James D-line showed up big on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Credits to them. It looked like that he had number 5, Aiden McGibney, deep. Looked like he had a step on Ben Drury, but defensive line gets in his face, doesn't really allow him to step up into a clean pocket and make a throw. And now that forces a 3rd and about 13, which is exactly what St. James wants, these 3rd and longs.
Yeah, and St. James should be watching out for Trevor Garlington here, number 7. He is the leading receiver on this team with over 140 yards on the year.
And you see him one-on-one with Ben Drury down on the bottom of your screen.
It's going to be a run. Fights forward for 2, maybe 3 there. Does Logan Waldorf, the backup. It's going to be a 4th and 10, so it looked like maybe a run there to try to set up a more manageable 4th down as the Huskies offense stays on the field.
This is a more bold call, in my opinion. 4th and 10. You're not really in field goal range here. No kicker's really kicking 62-yarder, but 4th and 10 is pretty long distance.
Yeah, and I think it shows a little disrespect, actually, to the St. James offense. Seeing them go for it twice in situations that would give St. James good field position. It's kind of saying, hey, we think our defense is going to stop you. We don't think you're going to be able to get those yards needed to put up a touchdown, even if it is close. So the Huskies are going to go for it. Baxter drops back. Looking, he has his back. Waldorf makes a man miss. Here he goes along the sideline, still going. Scahan brings him out at the 20 in a big play for the Huskies on the 4th down conversion for 25.
And that's just a great read by Baxter. That's a nice route, goes just a little out route, sits down about a yard or 2 short from the sticks, makes Hank Schreiner miss, cuts up field. It's a nice play call, really taking advantage of the fact that our corners are dropping way off. There's not really anyone there.
Yeah, and I think in a way, if you're St. James, you feel good about that, right? Hank Schreiner, open field tackle. That's all you really need to stop him there, but a great move by Waldorf got rid of Schreiner, and he fought forward for the first and then some. So now inside the red zone are the Huskies. Looks like they're going to call timeout here. 5.5 minutes are already off this game clock, so we talked about it a little bit. St. James turnovers really is a thing to watch. They had 3 or 4 turnovers last week, 2 on the snap. And that's going to be something to watch out for tonight. Tonight's commercials are courtesy of St. James Academy's yearbook class. We have 7 volumes tonight. Showcase the best of St. James from August and September this year. In Volume 1, we honor the St. James fans. It's going to be play action pass. They're looking deep for the freshman. They got him. Touchdown, Barron Marshall. Acrobatic catch against Drury, and the Huskies put up 6 to start out the game.
Well, that's about as good of a drive as you could ask for from the Huskies. It takes 7.5 minutes off the clock. And a great throw there from Baxter to Marshall. You see why he's getting those college looks already and already has that SEC offer. Great route. Just kind of beats Ben Drury. Beautiful back shoulder throw from Baxter there too. But really that 7.5 minutes the defense was on the field, I think, kind of was adding up to that drive. St. James defense looked a little sluggish.
Absolutely. Now out to kick for the Huskies. It's going to be Trace Rudd, number 27, the lefty. Not a good snap, good hold to save it. And that ball booted way out of the end zone, and it's going to be 7-0 Blue Valley Northwest. BSN Sports is a team supplier specializing in high-quality athletic apparel, footwear, and uniforms. BSN Sports provides convenience for coaches, which allows the St. James Academy Thunder to focus on winning. BSN Sports is a proud supporter of the SJA Crimson Club.
Performance Rehab uses the latest and most efficient treatments to meet your specific problem and guarantees your success. Experience the caring environment and the genuine concern they show while getting to know patients and their health goals. Performance Rehab is a proud supporter of the SJA Crimson Club.
7-0 Huskies on top after that touchdown pass from Baxter. Baxter has 3 touchdown passes on the season on just 8 completions, showing you the kind of efficiency this offense has had all year long. And that play really looked like a couple college guys making plays there. Beautiful throw, like you said, Jonathan, and an even better catch by the true freshman, Barron Marshall. So out to kick is Trace Rudd. A little bit of a change in the return game for the Thunder. It's going to be Tujak and Chase. Previously, it's been Tujak and Puhala. And now the lefty, Trace Rudd, ready to kick for Blue Valley Northwest. And it's off. Big end-over-end kick. St. James not going to return that one. And now out comes the St. James offense, led by senior quarterback Tyson Beshore. He had a phenomenal night week 1 against Bishop Mage. A little bit of a step back last week against St. Thomas Aquinas. But, you know, Beshore in this offense really excited to try to get back on track here against the Huskies.
Absolutely, and I think this first drive is going to be especially important to kind of get their mojo going for this game. And something else that we talked a lot about last week, and we talked about a little bit on the pregame show, is the Thunder defense was on the field for a lot of time last week against Aquinas, and they were just on the field for 7.5 minutes. So it's going to be especially important, even if the Thunder offense isn't putting up points, that they're establishing some drives and putting some drives together so that the defense can rest.
Quick screen to Alec Jett there, gets about 3. This is St. James offense. They really only throw the ball to 2, maybe 3 guys. Parker Chase, Sam Neeson, John Tujak, the running back. Nobody else has more than 2 catches on this team. So getting guys like Alec Jett, Jude Wonder, Max Albright, some of those secondary receivers involved really early, really important early on. St. James gets a gain of 4.
For sure. I mean, you want to spread the ball around to give the defense more guys to worry about, but you also still have to know who your best playmakers are and when they should be getting the ball.
You're going to give to Tujak. Decent O-line play there. Fights forward, gets 2, maybe 3. Sawyer Williamson, one of the leading tacklers on Blue Valley Northwest. The linebacker making the stop there.
Pretty good start to the run game. Picked up about 4 yards there. That's going to be something that we want to see throughout the night, because really, as for any offense, when the run game is humming, really the whole offense is humming, because you're getting those easy yards up the middle. And again, that takes time off the clock. That gives time for the defense to rest.
Yeah, and you already see St. James is trying to move a little bit faster. I think that's smart with how slow and methodically that first drive went for the Huskies. And now it's going to be a quick drop back. Beshore, quick pass, has Wonder on the speed out. Here goes Wonder up the field, still along the sidelines, and it's a first down and a little more out at the 42-yard line. And St. James getting the ball to Alec Jett and Jude Wonder, a couple guys. We haven't said their names a lot this season so far, but certainly a lot of talent from those 2.
Yeah, I really love the first 2 play calls, getting the ball over to the flats in some space. Credit to the O-line there. Did a great job on the blitz pickup. Gave Beshore time to make that read, time for Wonder to get open, and then just a nice catch and run from Wonder over there on the far side flat.
So St. James moving well here at the 44-yard line. Mixing some of the receiving options for Beshore, certainly going to help to open up Parker Chase and Sam Neeson, 2 of the top receivers in the EKL. Wonder in motion. They're going to give to Tujak. Gets nothing. Tried to run off Chase's back there, but unable to get any progress, and it's going to be 2nd and maybe 9.5 here.
You know, one of the things we talked about early in the game is those star offensive tackles for the Huskies, but number 55, Brock Heath, their right tackle, does play both ways. He is a defensive end as well, and I'm sure he's the guy whose name we're going to be calling a lot. He's a big guy, very skilled. They're going to really have to key in on him.
Yeah, Luke Neff, the right tackle, he's going to have his hands full with Heath tonight. Beshore's going to have to escape out of the pocket. Heath chasing him. Beshore gets maybe 3 on the carry, so it's going to be 3rd and about 7 here for the Thunder offense. That's not a situation St. James wants to be. It's only going to be a gain of 1, so 3rd and 8. Like we talked about earlier, O-line play means a lot. They've been really good this game. That play didn't hold up quite long enough, so B-Shore had to escape.
Yeah, and really, I know we talked about that we want to see those explosive plays again. And while it is exciting to get those explosive plays, you have to remember to take what the defense is giving you. But in order to get that, you still have to have the protection. You still have to have time for the routes to develop.
B-Shore complete to Jet again. Jet stopped at the perfect time, and B-Shore hit him for a gain of 10 and a first down for St. James.
I think already the St. James offensive coordination just looks better than it did last week. I mean, that's a few different routes there to Jet and Wonder. A great communication there. B-Shore with the anticipation that Jet was just going to sit right down. Jet turns around, the ball's on him almost immediately. Great route combo, great anticipation, and the Thunder offense looks pretty good so far.
Sure does, and again, that's another play that's kind of a testament to B-Shore's football IQ. We talk about it a lot, but quarterback, it really matters that you know the game, and nobody watches more film than that guy. It's going to be a nice carry for Tujak. Got maybe 2 yards at the first contact point there, and he's down at the 40.
So far, the St. James offensive line has done a pretty nice job pass blocking. Other than that one play, B-Shore has had a pretty clean pocket to pass out of. He's had decent time. The run game up the middle has been a little shaky so far, but I think we got to give credit to this defensive front for the Huskies on that one. Their 4 defensive linemen and 3 linebackers have been causing some chaos in this run game so far.
Absolutely. It's going to be a 2nd down and 8. Let's see if St. James passes. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. B-Shore. Quick pass, hard pass there to Chase, and a nice completion. Looks like he got the first. That is a difficult throw against his body, but B-Shore delivered a dime, and it's going to be a first down for the Thunder.
For sure, that really is a tough throw across the body. It's not as easy as it looks. B-Shore made it look pretty easy. John Tujak, great blitz pickup there. You know, the number 32, I believe it was, came off the edge. John Tujak picks him up so that Tyson had the time to make the throw. And again, another just quick out route from Parker Chase. We've seen a lot of those so far tonight. Hits him for the easy first down.
So both offenses in their first drive, they're taking a while, and they are executing at a high level. We're already in the final minute 40 of this quarter, but St. James looking good. It's going to be a quick pass to Tujak. B-Shore got the look he liked. Tujak, nice run there. Looked like maybe could have been a late hit, but they don't call it, and it's going to be a gain of about 7 for Tujak.
Again, I'm a big fan of the play call. Get the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick, get it to John in space. I know that's something we've talked about a lot, is getting the ball to your playmakers in space and letting them go make a play. And it's a great read. Joshi definitely saw something that he liked, saw that he could get the ball to John there. That's an easy 8 yards.
So now 2nd down and about 2 for the Thunder. B-Shore, play action, looking for Chase. He's going to scramble. He has some room to run. He is still on his feet up to the 11-yard line. Finally brought out of bounds. That's Andrew Wolverton, the junior. But B-Shore, a nice, smart play there. And St. James is in business.
Absolutely. Great use of the legs from B-Shore. Goes through that 1st, 2nd, 3rd read. Not there. Feels the pocket kind of collapsing and just escapes right up the middle. We talked a lot about week 1, how he was a dual-threat quarterback, and we've seen really the passing and the running on this drive so far.
Yeah, B-Shore certainly a guy that can be a dual threat. 72 rush yards coming into this game on the season. B-Shore looks, pumps again. He is still running, fighting forward. Took a hard hit there. Sawyer Williamson, the linebacker, the first to get to him, but gain of 7 or 8. And those are the sort of hits you definitely don't want your quarterback to take if you're St. James.
Yeah, you can see they were looking for that little screen out there to Jude Wonder. The Huskies do a nice job reading it. There was a defensive back sitting right on that route, so good poise by B-Shore to not throw it and just escape up the middle. Again, didn't panic, just took what was there and ran up the middle.
Yeah, and that's the play. We see a lot of other teams' quarterbacks, or maybe even in past years for St. James quarterbacks, make that pass, but love to see B-Shore not do that. B-Shore, he is scrambling, not much there, and he is brought down hard. Tackle made there. That was Caleb Peterson, the D lineman, with the tackle. And Peterson, another guy that plays on the O-line for the Huskies at left guard. Loss of about 1 or 2. It's going to be 3rd and 5 now.
It looked like the St. James offense, maybe the offensive line, had a little bit of a miscommunication. Few defensive linemen were able to slip through. Made it real tough for Tyson. You could see he was looking to that rollout to the close side. Probably was a route coming towards the sideline, but just unable to get there due to the pressure.
Play clock and game clock almost the same. Game clock just a hair faster
Beshore, he has a man. It's Chase. It's a touchdown. And a St. James score for 6 on senior night. Senior Beshore to senior Parker Chase.
Beautiful dig route from Parker Chase right there. It's one of the toughest routes to cover when it's run well. You go about 3-4 yards upfield, cut in, and cut right back out immediately. Run to perfection there from Parker. Great anticipation again from Beshore. You can really see him and the receivers are on the same page so far. That's about as good of a drive as you could want from the Thunder after giving up an early touchdown.
Ben Johnson on to kick the PAT for St. James. Low snap, good hold. And it is no good. That kick was very high, and it did not go through the uprights, and you don't love to see that. That's the second missed PAT, and frankly, it's hard to blame it all on Johnson. The snaps have just not been great, and the holds have been shaky in some spots as well for the Thunder. So St. James needs to find a way to clean that up.
Yeah, it did look like a rough hold. Their first miss was the first touchdown of the season, and they did make the 6 or 5 after that. So I think it's not a huge problem, but obviously you don't love to be down 1 for the whole game because now you've kind of got the pressure of the 2-point conversion hanging over your head.
So St. James and Blue Valley Northwest, one drive for both teams. Couldn't have really gone better for either of them. Perfect execution, pretty much every play for both sides, resulting in touchdown passes to the star receivers on both sides. Baron Marshall for the Huskies and Parker Chase for St. James. So now some adjustments need to be made by both these defenses. St. James defense will be the first team that gets that chance to make some of those adjustments. Back to return again, it's Trevor Garlington, number 7, Baron Marshall, the freshman that just scored the touchdown, number 9. Ben Johnson on to kick from that right hash. Kick is up, a little bit more returnable. Marshall's going to try to take it at the goal line. And he has a seam. He is on his feet. He is still on his feet. Marshall makes a man miss. He gets up to the 44, finally brought out of bounds. Brody Bruckman in on the tackle, and that is how the quarter is going to end. So up to the 45, the Huskies get on the return. That's going to set up their offense in a lot better field position. In Volume 2 of our yearbook Best of Series, we showcase our red carpet experience. Investments, tax planning, retirement, insurance, managing all aspects of your financial life can be overwhelming. That's where Aquatic Wealth Management comes in. We'll help you fit each piece of the financial puzzle together. Schedule your free assessment by texting GO THUNDER to 913-402-6099. Aquatic Wealth is a proud supporter of St. James and the Crimson Club. So they'll start their drive at the 45. New quarterback for the Huskies, Ford Bevins, number 2. High snap, he's going to have to keep. Power run, going to the right. He is hit hard. Jordan Boone and Hornback in on the tackle there, and a gain of 3. And there's that first quarterback change. We said we're going to see some of it. Bevins in there, got a gain of 3 on the run.
Absolutely, and I think that's going to be really interesting. A really interesting thing to watch throughout this game is which quarterback they're using and when and why. Obviously, it's a little bit of a question why they would change quarterbacks after they just had a successful touchdown drive, but clearly they have confidence in both of them, and their skill sets are similar, but they are a little different, and they're obviously different players, but it'll just be interesting to watch when and where they're each used and how they're used as well.
Absolutely, it's going to be something to monitor. Bevan's certainly a bigger player than Baxter. Baxter not small, listed at about 6 foot 205, looks maybe a little lighter than that, but Bevan's 6'4", 200 pounds. He's a lot taller, so that's going to give him a little bit of a different look. There was a flag on that play. Looks like it's going to bring the Huskies back 10 yards. It's going to be a 1st and 20 now. So the good return and the nice run by Bevins, the quarterback, negated there by the penalty. And it'll be 1st down and 20. Wide receivers getting set, 2 on both sides of the quarterback, Bevins. We're going to give to the running back, Bowens. Bevitt brings him down after a gain of 3, maybe 4. And St. James is doing a decent job tonight on the first contact of Bowens of bringing him down. The problem is that first contact isn't coming till he's maybe 4 or 5 yards downfield right now.
For sure. They definitely are doing a better job at tackling than they were last week. Obviously, a lot of missed tackles aren't, again, big runner, a lot of missed tackles there. They are doing a good job, like you said, Will. They got to make that first contact earlier, 2-3 yards upfield or in the backfield ideally.
And that's where that O-line comes in, that dominant O-line. That's really the area you see that, right? The O-line yards, the amount of yards the O-line is creating for the running back is very, very high right now. It's going to be a give again to Bowens. St. James blows it up, and again, there's that tackle. St. James makes the tackle on the first contact there. And you see, that's a great example. And the D-line does their job a little bit better and makes it harder for the running back to get upfield. The linebackers are doing a great job of finishing off the play.
For sure. They read that play very well. And you saw Bowens, a bit of a patient runner, just kind of sat back there, did a few jump cuts, waiting for a hole to open. Unfortunately, no hole opened up. There were 3 Thunder defenders there, but a great read there for sure.
Yeah, and at 5'9", 160, Bowens, he needs to be a patient guy when running between the tackles. If he just comes down with a full head of steam, he might get rocked by some of those bigger linebackers and D linemen, especially against some of those Blue Valley schools in the EKL. 4 on the play clock here. Drop back for Bevins. Pumps. He wants to go deep. He goes for Garlington. It's incomplete. In coverage there was Boydston and Drury rather, for the Thunder. And St. James is going to get the Northwest offense off the field here on the 3 and out.
Looked like Bevins wanted that little stop-and-go route on the far side. Looked like he could have maybe had him. Looked like Garlington had a step on Drury and Boydston, but ultimately overthrown. Great defense position for the Thunder. When the offense makes mistakes such as that holding penalty, you got to make them pay. And by forcing them into a 4th and 14, that's exactly how you do it.
Decent punt here. Hornback, the returner, he wants to take it, and he is hit there. Nice play in the punt game. Luke Wolverton, number 6, with the hit there. Still, St. James loses nothing by picking up the ball there, and they will start their drive inside the 20. Now the offense comes back out for St. James. What does Blue Valley Northwest need to do to stop St. James' momentum on offense here?
I think they've got to key in to the St. James receivers. They gave up a lot of stuff in the flats last drive, which is something that a lot of high school defensive coordinators are okay with giving up because the short routes, you got to have 15 plays to get all the way to the end zone if you're throwing the ball to flat, but they have to make sure that if they're going to give up that flat, they have to tackle them in that flat. They can't let that flat lead to a bunch of open space for the receivers to get down the field more.
So 1st and 10, it's going to be read option, give to Tujak. Tujak brought down, and that is Brock Heath, and that is a big boy to be tackling Tujak from behind there. Tujak gets maybe 2 on the carry, setting up a 2nd down and 8.
And we talked about how Brock Heath plays both ways and was going to be a name that we call it a lot tonight. And there you see why he's very skilled. Like you said, Will, he's a big guy, but he moves very well for his size. And that's why he is getting these college looks, him and Babaloa.
Yeah, that's exactly why. You said it, Jonathan. A lot of guys are big, but what separates these two, they're really good athletes. They move really well, and you see it when they're on the field. Beshore escaping the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield. He has Neeson. He goes to him. Is he getting it? He does! What a play. Neeson wanted it, and he got it. Big pass from Beshore for St. James.
Beautiful adjustment there by Sam Neeson on that grab. It was a little bit behind and past him, and he does a great job of kind of getting his hips around, putting the brakes on so that he can come down with that ball. And what a rollout by Tyson Beshore. Again, throwing across his body, puts it into the perfect spot, doesn't leave it short. I mean, you can't really ask for a better ball than that.
Yeah, that was perfect. Neeson was covered decently well, but he wanted the ball. He thought he had a step, and Beshore delivered it on the money. So St. James has it now at the 41 in Blue Valley Northwest territory. Man in motion. It's going to be a quick screen to Chase. Chase moving up the field, might get the first. He does, up to the 30-yard line. And that quick passing game working well for the Thunder.
Yeah, and there's another example of Blue Valley Northwest giving up that flat, but then not going to make the tackle in the flat. Big credit to the O-line and those receivers blocking over there as well. There were O-linemen 5-6 yards downfield, which is exactly what you want to see. Those big O-linemen on those smaller secondary players usually going to go very well for the offense.
Yeah, and that's where having a guy like Max Albright, number 9, a big receiver out there to block is really, really helpful. St. James hasn't had that guy for a long time. And there's an incompletion running that same route Chase got for the touchdown. Tujak was open there, right through his hands. You know he'd like to have that one back.
I know it's one thing we talked about before the game, but I've loved the aggression that the Thunder offense have shown so far. You know, they haven't hesitated to push the ball downfield. But they've also taken the short passes. They've taken what's there. They're not afraid to waltz the ball down the field very slowly. But they show that they can go score in 4 plays if they have to, if you're going to let them take these big explosive plays.
So 2nd down and 10 here for the Thunder. Tujak flex to the right. They're going to throw to him again, and he drops it again. And now, you know, he's just in his head. 2 drops in a row on plays he could have made. St. James offense needs to show some resiliency here on 3rd and 10 as Puhala enters for Tujak.
I imagine Joshi wanted to try to go back to John there just to try to get his confidence back up, but just goes right through his hands. Probably a bit fortunate that they whistled that dead. That was very close to being a lateral or backwards pass, so good thing they whistled it dead, and Parker Chase did end up picking it up because otherwise that could have been close.
It's going to be 3rd and 10. Over the middle, Chase. What a play that was. That was very, very close to an interception. But Parker Chase, he is playing very well, and Bishore's delivering perfect balls to him. And inside the red zone now is the Thunder.
You said it well. Bishore has really been on it this game. Every single one of his balls has pretty much been perfect. You know, that on that throw, very tiny window that he had to fit it in. Chase comes down with it. Really, after 3 outstretched arms of Husky secondary members, Bishore really has been at the top of his game. It's a good return to form to that week 1 quarterback we saw.
Yeah, if you had any doubts about Bishore, he is putting him away tonight against the Huskies. Neeson in motion, making it 3 on the left. They're going to pitch to Tujak. Tujak fumbles. That is not what you want to see for the senior running back, John Tujak. The offense was driving, but the Huskies made a nice play, and now they're going to get their offense back on the field.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate timing. Like you said, Will, offense was really humming. They were moving the ball well, and it's just unfortunate that John coughs it up. I think it's going to be, you know, a lot of times we don't talk about the mental side of the game, and he's really going to have to lock back in. You know, 2 drops and a fumble on the same drive, that can get in your head, and he's got to make sure that he can put that behind him, have a short memory, and look to make positive plays as the game goes on, because he is an X factor on the St. James offense.
Yeah, and that's where you need some of those senior leaders next to Tujak to help pick him up here. Baxter back in at quarterback. Bowens gets a couple on the carry. You said it, Jonathan, that mental game is just so difficult for the Thunder and really any team at this level. People forget these guys are high schoolers. You're talking about 16, 17, 18-year-olds. And frankly, those guys aren't going to have the mental strength that the 30-some-year-old guys you see in the NFL have. So it's going to be a 2nd down and 6 from the 15. St. James defense needs to get another stop here. Baxter, who was the general for that touchdown scoring drive earlier, back in at quarterback. Gives to Bowens again. Brought back. That was Andy Devers, the nose tackle, in on the tackle. It's going to be a gain of 2 or 3 for Blue Valley Northwest.
And that was a great example of what we were talking about last drive, is getting that first contact early in the run, because St. James really has been doing a great job of getting the running back down at that contact. You just got to make sure that contact is coming early.
So 3rd and 2, St. James has to be ready for the run game here. 6 in the box for the Thunder.
And you see a little bit of a different look from the Thunder. Hank Schreiner, the Mike linebacker, is spread way out behind the DN, Max Raquette.
It's going to be a quick pass, barely caught there, and he has fought backwards, and I don't think he got the first down. St. James motioning that he did not. They aren't going to give him the first. I believe that was Barron Marshall on the catch, and they are going to give him the first down. Just barely getting that one. St. James did a nice job covering that screen.
Yeah, they did. I mean, ultimately, they held him to about 3 yards there. You'll take that any day. But just a good play call for Blue Valley Northwest on 3rd and short, just trying to get those yards to get a new set of downs.
Again, this is the Blue Valley Northwest team. They like grinding the clock, really running this thing down. They can do that because they run the ball so much. Give to Bowens again. Reverses course, makes a man miss, and finally Boone brings him down and gets off the block. That's what St. James needs to do. They need to string out that tackle before more guys can get there, because right now it's really tough to bring down Bowens in the open field.
For sure. I mean, you saw it on that play. He's got a lot of speed. He's a pretty shifty runner. And so it is going to be important to get those 2-3 bodies towards him, because one-on-one, I mean, I think our linebackers and defensive linemen are great, but one-on-one with a guy that quick and fast, it's just tough.
Yeah, you saw it last week against St. Thomas Aquinas. St. James really struggled with the open field tackling. They're going to throw again to Waldorf, and finally St. James gets him. Connor Scahan stepping up and making a tackle there, and it's going to be 3rd and medium for the Huskies.
Great play by Scahan over on the near side. You know, these corners really have a tough job tonight going up against these highly skilled wide receivers. But you do love to see them getting some momentum plays, really getting fired up, because, I mean, you see him now on the bottom of the screen going up against Barron Marshall, who caught that touchdown earlier. I mean, it's a tough matchup, so they've really got to be dialed in. You love to see those negative plays that they can create.
Yeah, St. James they're facing some of the best receivers and linemen in the EKL, and you'll love to see how St. James is responding to that challenge in the D-line and corners respectively. Chandler's in motion. They're going to give. Schreiner makes the tackle. Blue Valley Northwest coach not happy with his guys after that play. Gain of 1 or 2. It's going to be 4th and short. And it looks like the punt team comes on for Blue Valley Northwest.
Great stand by the Thunder defense. A little bit shocked that they're not going to go for it here. Maybe they're just not as confident in their ability to pick up those yards up the middle as they have been. They are pretty deep in their own territory. But you got to think, with a team that loves to score as much as these guys do, it's a little bit surprising they're not going for it here. But, you know, one thing we were seeing warm-ups, their punter has a leg.
Yes, he does.
He was kicking it about 50, 60 yards in the air in warm-ups, and so he didn't have a great punt last time, but
we'll see here. Low snap.
Yep, there we go.
That's pretty far. Hornback's going to get it at the 27. Hornback going across the field here. Brought down by the same guy. He fumbled at the end. There also is a flag on the play. St. James recovered, so shouldn't matter. But the flag probably going to bring it back likely on the Thunder here with where it is at in the middle of the field. See what the plan is now. Yeah, they're going to move it back. So penalty was on the Thunder. John Tujak is still going to be out there at running back. He's a guy, he's played a ton of football for the St. James team. You know the coaching staff has a lot of confidence in him, but they need to see him fix some of those mistakes. So ball at the 29 here for the Thunder.
Thunder offense got to just shake off the rough ending to last drive. They're moving the ball very well. I think they just have to continue with the scheme, the play calling that they've had so far in this game, because it has been working. They've been moving the ball very well on both drives. Just an unfortunate fumble to end the last drive. But until Blue Valley Northwest makes an adjustment, you got to just keep doing what's been working.
First and 10 now, 3:30 on the clock, plenty of time. Tujak, they're going to give it to him. He has some room to run. Tujak makes a man miss, and that is how you want to respond to adversity there. Gain of 11, one of the best runs we've seen all year from John Tujak.
Absolutely. Great job there by John. Makes multiple men miss, and credit to the offensive line. Great blocking there, opening up that big hole for John. And like you said, Will, that's exactly how you want to respond to a mistake, because you want to come back stronger with a big play like that.
Yeah, and those are sort of plays, like you said, the O-line helped him there, but he was touched pretty early, getting close to the line of scrimmage there. Those are sort of plays this game. It's been a lot of 3-4 yard runs on those. Tujak gets 11 there. That's so huge for the Thunder getting the first down. 10 on the play clock, be sure play action. He wants a deep shot. He's going to go to Wonder, extended out there. He's going to get, looks like a first down. Andrew Wolverton on the tackle, and St. James 2 first downs on 2 plays.
I love that route scheme from offensive coordinator Matt Josh. You know, uses jet on the outside, runs him on a deep post to kind of clear out that out route that we've seen so much in this game. Just runs Jude right behind it, knowing that that corner has to stick deep and the linebacker isn't all the way over there to the sideline. And Beshore, again, that anticipation hits him right in stride.
You talked about it, the poise from Beshore. You know, he probably wanted to go deep there, but making the smart play going to Wonder. They're going to give to Tujak. Great blocking from the O-line there. Tujak exploded there for 6 for the Thunder, and Puhala is going to enter the game now.
For sure, you do love to see John with a nice bounce-back drive so far. And like you said, Will, great credit to the offensive line. They've been playing very well in this game so far. And going back to last play, you know, it's very key that Beshore doesn't just try to go for the home run plays and just get as many yards as you can in as few plays. You just got to take what's there, which is something that we saw a lot in that Miege game. It's something I think we're going to continue to see throughout the season.
2nd down and 5, RPO. They're going to throw the quick screen to Wonder. Wonder makes a man miss, gets 3, hit hard there, down at the 40-yard line. St. James only going to need 2 yards to get the first down after that one.
Looks like it's going to be a hold on Brody Bruggeman over there.
So that's going to set St. James back a little bit here. That's something you risk when you throw those little bubble screens. You let a corner and receiver go one-on-one. If the corner wins, tries to get off that tackle, wide receivers, they don't block a ton. They're not really used to that, so they're more likely to hold than, say, an offensive lineman would be. And St. James gets the hold on that play. Going to make it a 2nd and 15 here from the 43, 2:25 and counting on the clock. 5 seniors on this offensive line. They have played tremendous tonight for the Thunder. They need to keep up that effort. 2 on the play clock. Beshore, blitz coming. Chase underneath. He has some room to run. Here goes Chase along the sideline. He is brought out by Wolverton. Big gain. And again, the underneath stuff really working for St. James tonight.
Absolutely. And again, Beshore just taking what's there and getting the ball to his playmakers in space. Good route from Parker, just kind of runs right behind those linebackers. Beshore hits him. Got a lot of room to run. Big credit to right tackle Luke Neff there, was taking on 2 Husky defenders and didn't allow either of them to get to Beshore. So, like you said, well, got to give the offensive line their flowers so far in this first half.
Yeah, that was an incredible block going up against Brock Heath and a linebacker, and he won. Beshore, big drop back. He's going to go to Tujak. He makes the catch, and he trucked him there. Big hit. Wolverton forces Tujak out. It's a gain of 7. It's going to set up a 2nd and short for St. James.
And you saw Beshore's patience again on that play. You know, looks at his deep routes, not there. Looks at his underneath routes, not there. Checks it down to John on the little wheel route for a nice 6-7 yard gain. And I know we've talked a lot about it tonight, but that patience really is huge. You know, a lot of running backs would kind of panic. Beshore doesn't panic, keeps his poise, and just hits the open man.
So empty backfield here for Beshore. Looks like a delayed blitz is coming. Beshore sees it. Does he have the time? He does. He gets it out just barely in time. Blitz coming there from Luke Wolverton, the senior. And now it's going to be a 3rd and 4 for St. James. Minute 35 on the clock. St. James has 3 timeouts, so clock not really an issue here. More an issue of St. James scores here and then Blue Valley Northwest gets the ball back. But right now St. James has to focus on getting that 3rd and 4 conversion.
Yeah, and great play by Beshore there to just throw the ball away, not hold on to it too much and take what really would have been a very costly sack, probably about 10 yards back, probably would have pushed them out of field goal range. That sets them up for a pretty manageable 3rd and 4 here.
So 3rd and 4, Beshore has Jet fumbled out of bounds. They're going to say he was incomplete. Jet had it right before the hit, but maybe not enough time to make a move. So the kicking unit will come on. Ben Johnson, the kicker, will be dialing one up here. This is going to be maybe a 46-yarder or so for Ben Johnson, so probably on the higher end of St. James kicker's range here. We saw him make one from about 52 or so earlier in warm-ups. So it certainly has the leg. Let's see if he has the accuracy. St. James had a bad snap and hold last time. Kick is up. It looks good. It is. So after the missed PAT, the special teams unit responds with 3, And what a kick that was from Ben Johnson. And St. James takes their first lead of the night.
That field goal looks like it would have been good about 55. And we talked about the leg on the punter, but Ben Johnson's got a leg of his own. At Luxury and Imports, you'll find a top-notch car dealership with over 200 carefully selected pre-owned vehicles. Luxury and Imports offers the complete auto experience: service, body shop, rent-a-car, and car sales. Their staff is driven to provide 100% satisfaction, ensuring a stress-free car shopping experience every time. Discover their motto: the right car, the right price, the smart choice. Located in Leavenworth, Kansas, visit Luxury and Imports for your next car experience.
So St. James special teams back out here to kick it off. It's going to be Marshall and Darlington back to return. Ben Johnson will kick. St. James up 9-7. Both offenses have really executed well so far. Penalties and turnovers really the only differentiator right now. High kick from Johnson, and it looks like it's headed out of bounds. Way out of bounds was that one, so better field position for Blue Valley Northwest here as they start their drive.
And getting the ball at the 40, I believe it's the 40, is big, because with 1:25 and 2 timeouts, they could easily get into field goal range, could very likely score a touchdown.
Yeah, so 35 is where they'll start, 65 yards to go. 1:25, 2 timeouts, plenty of time. But this is a team, they don't like throwing the football. They're just not very comfortable with it. They have a 2-to-1 ratio of rush yards to pass yards right now. This is a team that likes to keep it on the ground. So 2-minute drills, it's going to be harder for this group as they head back out. Ford Bevins is going to get his second drive. Looks like it's pretty much just going to be an every other drive sort of thing all game long for Blue Valley Northwest.
And it's really curious that they don't like throwing the ball with all the talent they have in this wide receiver core. You know, we talked about Garlington, Marshall, that these receivers that are getting college looks. They have the talent, it's just they don't feel comfortable.
Bevins drops, 4-man rush. Requette almost gets there. He has a man. It is Garlington. He beat Hornback deep in a big play. It takes one play to march him right down the field. And what a pass that was to Trevor Garlington.
No, we just talked about it. They have the talent. They have the capabilities to make the big throws. It's just they weren't feeling it. Great route from Garlington there. Just runs right by Hornback. You know, defensive coordinator Coach Denton's not going to be happy about that one, letting them deep.
Now going tempo. Bevins is going to try to run. Requette can't make the tackle, but St. James does. And with that passing, you have to wonder, again, when teams play 2 quarterbacks, you have to wonder, the saying goes, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks. Pretty much it means if one guy is better, he's going to be on the field. If you have 2 quarterbacks, the chances that both of them are going to be good are pretty low. So that would be really the only reason they don't throw the ball. But they've both looked pretty good tonight. Now it's going to set up a 2nd down and 8.
Agreed.
40 seconds here. They're going to give it off to Waldorf. Good blocking, and he's going to get Ford inside the 10 up to about the 6-yard line, and timeout called by the Huskies.
And like you said, Will, Baxter, the starting quarterback, 3 touchdowns on only 8 or 9 completions in the season, so his passing efficiency is there. But like you said, maybe they just don't have huge confidence in either of their QB's arms, but they've looked pretty good.
Go enjoy a smoothie with a purpose. Visit Smoothie King, located at Monticello Center, Western Shawnee. Their mission is to inspire people to live a healthy, active lifestyle and to be an integral part of everyone's fitness journey. Go to Smoothie King to rule the day.
BSN Sports specializes in high-quality products for all sports and age groups with uniforms, coaches' gear, footwear, and booster club items. They are the St. James Academy partner in athletic wear and proud supporters of the Crimson Club.
Ball at the 6-yard line. It's going to be a 3rd down and 3. 33 seconds left with 1 timeout. Run or pass both on the table here for the Huskies. Their kicker has the leg. He certainly, you would bet on him to make it if they kicked it from here. Obviously, that's a decision the Huskies will have to make if it's 4th or short.
For sure, this is one of those scenarios where you want that defense bend but don't break. You know, give up the big play, but hold strong in the red zone, hold them to a field goal instead of allowing them to get a touchdown.
Going to be just a designed run with Bevins. He fights for it. He's going to get the first, but not into the end zone. Boydston in on the tackle there. That's an element that Bevins gives a little more. Baxter more of a scrambler, Bevins more of a designed runner. clock running here. We're at 25 on the game clock. It's just going to be same play. Walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Blue Valley Northwest. And the big play to Garlington hurts the Thunder as Blue Valley Northwest gets their second touchdown of the night.
Yeah, really not the way you wanted the half to end if you're a Thunder player, coach, or fan. You know, giving up that big 50, 60-yard pass and then allowing them to get into the end zone right before the half. Good news is the Thunder do get the second half kickoff, I believe, so they will have their chance to go respond, but just not the way you want to end the half.
Yeah, definitely after what was a great offensive drive, kind of a 4-minute drill sort of deal, not the response you wanted from the defense. St. James got a little pressure. The kick is up and true, so 14-9, Blue Valley Northwest up here, 20 seconds and 3 timeouts. You got to think St. James probably going to try to set up a return here, see if they can make something happen in the return game. We haven't seen much from that group so far this season, but if St. James can get it up to maybe the 40, 45-yard line, something like that, you feel like you have a chance to get it into field goal range in a couple of pass plays for the Thunder.
For sure, because if you get it to that 40-yard line, you really only need 25, 30 yards for Ben Johnson to have probably a reasonable shot at a field goal, which with 2 timeouts, 20 seconds is not a lot of time, but with 2 timeouts, it is doable. I think at this point, your goal is a field goal.
Yeah, it certainly is possible you can get the touchdown, but I think the goal is the field goal. St. James could just elect to not return this. They might view the time as more valuable than the yards. We'll see. The kicker might have to dictate that a little bit as well. It's going to be Tujak and Parker Chase back to return. Once again, Trace Rudd on to kick, the kicker and punter for this Blue Valley Northwest team. Kick is up, and it looks like it's not going to be returnable. So out the back of the end zone it goes. St. James has a little bit of work in front of them. If they want to try to score, they might just kneel on this ball and go to half. We'll see what their decision is momentarily.
One thing's for sure is that even though the Thunder will likely go into halftime down, they've had their chances in this game. I think they've shown that they are in this game for sure. You know, they had the drive that ended in the touchdown, they had the field goal, and then you had the drive that ended in a fumble where they moved the ball 40, 50 yards pretty easily. So their offense has looked good and shown the ability to keep them in this game. They just had that one costly turnover.
2 receivers on both sides. Bishore, he's looking for a quick pass. He has it to Neeson. Quick out there. And it's going to be about 13. Brought out of bounds by Joseph Arnold.
There's that connection between Bishore and Neeson. I believe Neeson's first reception there. And again, the anticipation. Bishore let go of that ball before Neeson had even broke for his out route. So you love to see Neeson, the star receiver, and Bishore on the same page again.
Like you were saying earlier, Jonathan, St. James doing a great job really hanging with this team. I think this is probably the best team St. James is going to face this year in the regular season. A really, really talented team. Certainly one of the front runners in the EKL. St. James putting up a great fight so far. It's that swing pass to Tujak. Good blocking from Jet on the outside. And he fights forward for only 3. The flag comes in really late there. It's going to be the hold on Jet. Don't disagree with the call necessarily, but a very late penalty flag thrown there. St. James might just kneel on it and go to half after that.
Yeah, the 10-yard penalty there really negates any chance at getting the ball to the other 35, 30 about. With only 9 seconds, it's going to be very tough to do. They probably, like you said, will just kneel on it, go to halftime, and look to score on that second half kickoff.
Yeah, and if you're playing Madden right now, you're probably throwing a Hail Mary, but you're looking at a high school team, you're probably not getting the ball 75 yards down the field in 9 seconds. It's just not going to happen. So St. James likely going to kneel on it. Maybe they try to run the ball once with Tujak, see if he can get some yards. It looks like they are going to kneel on it. That will be what the Thunder decide to do. So they will go into the half down 14-9 to the Huskies. St. James and Blue Valley Northwest, a couple teams really produced so far on the offensive end, but the points maybe not shown for it right now. And now we send it to Volume 3 of our Best Of series, courtesy of our yearbook class. In this volume, we take a look back at our first Grandparents' Mask of the year.
He wanted to thank us for being all in for this year, and he wanted to have us have some fun spirit. So he building up some community, He gave us the Jeans Day, and he gave us the Chiefs Day.
It was the best news I had all day. I was like, wow, this is going to be so great. So, yeah. But then, of course, this morning, I was like picking out my outfit and stuff, and I had forgotten. So Mrs. Wright had my back, and she was like, remember, it's Chiefs stuff today. So
finally get to see the Chiefs play again.
Yeah. Hey.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, Natalie Muehlberger, for making that happen.
Nah, go Broncos.
All right, welcome into the booth here. I'm Will Nichols alongside Jonathan May. St. James down 14-9, but they've put up a good fight. What do you think St. James needs to do to get the lead here in the second half?
I think they need to continue to be aggressive on offense. You saw that short pass game has really been effective for them. Those catch and runs have really produced a lot for the Thunder. Defensively, I think they had a pretty solid half. Pretty good job stopping the run. Got to work on getting that first contact a little bit earlier. And obviously that big pass to Trevor Garland. But other than that, it was a pretty solid half from the Thunder, so just look to build on that as we go forward.
Absolutely. St. James wants to put up a cleaner half here to get this victory. Again, St. James down 14-9 to the Blue Valley Northwest Huskies. It's been a good game. Let's send it to halftime.
Still need your help
to stay on track.
What's up? Hoorah!
The Spark Center is where students can come to help with learning, enrichment, collaboration. So say you're working on a problem or writing an essay and you get stuck in seminar and you're like, I just don't know what to do. You can ask your seminar teacher or study hall teacher. You can come on down during the day. We'll solve your problems and you can get right back to work so that you can be more efficient and have fun at home.
In everything I do. I love you guys, and I am not ready to leave. Don't have too much fun with the dogs when I leave. Love, Kate Cahill. Next is Charlotte Sindrich, daughter of Dan and Lisa. Her other activities include sow new seeds. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you for everything you do for me, and thank you for supporting me in everything I do. I will miss you both so much next year at college. Don't have too much fun at home without me. Love you both, Charlotte Sindrich. Next is Abby Faye, daughter of Chris and Lori. Other activities include campus ministry and grace. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you so much for the opportunity to come to SJA and be part of the best team ever. I am so lucky to have you as my biggest supporters, and I can't wait for what's to come. Abby Faye. Next is Ellie Johnson, daughter of Rain and Two. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you so much for all of the sacrifices you made for me, driving me back and forth from tennis and dance, and raising me in the faith. Good luck at home with Little Bear, and have fun buying everything Paw Patrol related for Gabriella. Love, your actual favorite child, Ellie Johnson. Next is Kate Kaufman, daughter of Kenton and Holly. Other activities include Thunder Service Club, NHS, Grace, and Community Captain. Dear Mom and Dad, thank you guys for always going above and beyond as parents. You guys are my rock, and I'm forever grateful for our memories. I wouldn't be where I am today without you. I love you to infinity and beyond. Kate Kaufman. Next is Molly McLean, daughter of Michael and Elizabeth. Her other activities include swim team. Mom, thanks for being my loudest fan, even when I lose a point. Dad, thanks for inspiring me to pray during my matches. Give Santa and Lassou lots of tummy rubs while I'm away at college. Love you guys. Molly McGlynn. Next is Ava Ray, daughter of Ted and Katie. Other activities include Thunder Service Club, Student Advancement, Try M, Be Somebody, and House Captain. Dear Mom, Dad, and Stella, thank you so much for all of the opportunities, memories, and love you have given me. I truly would never have been able to grow into the person I am today without you guys. I will miss you so much next year. Don't have too much fun without me. Love, your favorite child, Ava Ray. Next is Claire Steinlage, daughter of Brad and Maggie. Other activities include National Honor Society and Grace. Mom and Dad, I love you tons. Mom, I am going to miss watching Pride and Prejudice with you. And I am so going to miss Dad's chocolate chip cookies. Don't worry, you'll still have Teddy once I leave for college. Much love, Claire Steinlage. And next is Madison Steinlage, daughter of Dana and Crystal. Other activities include Draw Near Leadership Team, Mass Ministries, Thunder Service Club, Girls Basketball Manager, and Grace. Dear Mom and Dad, thanks for being my biggest supporters and for cheering me on in all of my interests and involvements. Love you bunches. Your daughter, Madison Steinlage. And let's have one more round of applause for all of our seniors on the girls tennis team.
Okay, now. Are you ready?
Join on the corner where the big boys play.
We welcome you to the booth here. I'm Will Nichols alongside Jonathan May. 14-9 Blue Valley Northwest on top. St. James gets the ball first here. What does St. James need to do to put up some points and get an early lead here in the third quarter?
We just got to take care of the ball. I mean, every offensive drive we've had, all three, we've looked very capable of moving the ball pretty easily. It's just that turnover that cost us what would have been at least another field goal, if not a touchdown, to put us in the lead. So as long as they can just keep doing what they're doing, keep taking what's there. You know, we talked a lot about B Shore's patience and taking what's there, his poise. As long as that can continue, I like St. James' chances to put up a lot more points in this game.
Yeah, and this is a Blue Valley Northwest team. Their defense has been really good. They've given up 20 points in their 2 games before this, already given up 9. Really the only thing that stops St. James is themselves. It's penalties and it's turnovers, and that's kind of what's been plaguing them all year long. But the only drive St. James really struggled on has been when they've had holds early on and drives, and when they've had Tujak's unfortunate fumble. So St. James cleans some of that stuff up. I think it's going to be really, really hard for this Blue Valley Northwest team to stop the Thunder.
For sure. I think they're 90% of the way there. It's just that last 10% they got to clean up, like you said, Will. Number of holding calls on those receivers especially. So if they can just, like you said, clean up that little stuff, they're in a good position. And, you know, they get the ball first, they can go out and set the tone for the second half by scoring a touchdown. It doesn't have to be a fast touchdown or a touchdown on a big play, because a 7-minute touchdown is the same amount of points as a 2-minute touchdown. You know, it's still 7 on the board, and you're tiring out that Blue Valley Northwest defense as well if you put together a long drive.
Yeah, I think St. James needs to take this kind of slowly here, take it possession by possession, get this game to the fourth quarter, make it competitive, because I think when you get to that fourth quarter, St. James has the guys at receiver and Chase and Neeson, and I think B Shore, we haven't seen him really in a high-pressure situation in the fourth quarter, because both games have been decided at that point, but I think he is going to look really good, kind of playing a little more free. I think we're going to really like to see B Shore if it's a close game in the fourth quarter. But yeah, St. James, that offense is going to need to pick it up. On the other side, Blue Valley Northwest, their offense has looked pretty good. St. James needs to find a way to stop that run game. What are some of the keys to stopping that run game right now for the Thunder?
I think it's the early down, getting those negative plays. You saw a few times Blue Valley Northwest has had early holding calls, and St. James has been able to force punts. And like we talked about, when you find a team that's as run heavy as this, when they get into 2nd and 16, that's really tough for them to pick up on the ground, even though they are capable of doing it. St. James just has to stay disciplined. They got to cover all the gaps on the line. And like we talked about, they have to continue to bring down the running back at first contact, and they have to make sure that first contact is early.
Yeah, the linebackers, seniors, Hank Schreiner and Jack Bevitt, they need to make sure they're getting those tackles and finishing them. They've done a really good job of that tonight. They need to keep doing that for the Thunder. Like you talked about, first contact is huge. So St. James will be receiving here. Blue Valley Northwest will be kicking. Rudd will be the kicker, number 27 for the Huskies. It's going to be John Tujak and Parker Chase back to return for St. James. We haven't seen Chase have to return yet. This is his first game as the returner for the Thunder this season.
You know, another thing we maybe could see in the second half, depending on how this third quarter goes, is maybe a little bit of trickery from the St. James offense in both games so far. We've seen a few trick plays. Obviously, Frankie Mangini throwing the touchdown pass in week 1 out of the backfield. And then against Aquinas' first play of the game, tried to go double reverse. Unfortunately, it didn't work, but that's not something we've seen in this game so far, and it's something that everyone on the offense loves to do. So look for that if the offense gets some momentum.
Yeah, I think especially the first couple plays here. Out of a half, you've given offensive coordinator Matt Joshi 15 minutes to think up some good stuff here. I wouldn't be surprised if one of these first 2 or 3 plays, I think if there's a trick play, that's when you're going to see it for St. James. So back to kick is Trace Rudd again for the Huskies, kicking off straight down the middle. High kick, it's going to go out the back of the end zone. Looks like St. James probably is going to have a chance to return any tonight, unless the Huskies want it to be that way. And St. James will start their drive at the 20-yard line here. St. James has done a phenomenal job spreading the ball around tonight. All 4 starting receivers, Neeson, Wonder, Jet, and Chase, with multiple catches on the day. St. James needs to continue to spread the ball out to have success.
Agreed, because when everyone on your offense is getting involved, that's just more moving parts that the defense has to worry about. It causes a lot more confusion on that side of the ball.
Neeson in motion. It's going to be faking the pitch to Tujak. Be sure. Short pass to Neeson. Neeson motioned in and then got the catch there, and it's going to be enough for the first down. Very light pass there for B-Shore, but it does the job. Gets St. James 13 on the first.
And there it is again, that short pass game that leads to big gains with with the yards after catch, Sam Neeson, Parker Chase have done a great job at that tonight. If B-Shore can just keep finding them, they've done a great job at finding just those soft spots in this 4-2-5 zone that the Huskies play. They just got to continue doing that.
Yeah, and you have to wonder again, is Blue Valley North and West, are they going to make an adjustment? Right now they only have 3 down linemen. That's a little different than what we've seen all night long. B-Shore, it's going to be straight up the middle after the fakes, and he runs forward, still on his feet, goes down after a gain of 7, maybe 8. Those are the sort of plays that St. James probably had a little more success with Blake Boydston and Ben Wheeler than maybe they do with a guy like B-Shore. B-Shore looks a little less comfortable taking contact out there, but still a nice run of 8 for the Thunder.
Yeah, and even though he's not obviously the athlete that Ben Wheeler was, he's still very capable of using those legs that we've seen multiple times in this game, that run of 8 yards there. Credit to the line there as well. Great blocking, opening up that hole up the middle.
Yeah, and the 2 fakes on the pitch and on the jet sweep help B-Shore a lot. Tujak, he still is on his feet, bouncing it outside, falls forward up to the 48-yard line. Tackle made there. That was Max Moser, the junior, for the Huskies, and it's going to be a first down for St. James.
Looked like the Huskies got away with one there. It looked like they still had 12 guys on the field with one extra safety running off. And on this drive alone, we've seen a few different defensive looks from the Huskies, 3 front, 4 front, bringing in an extra safety. So I think they're trying to mix up the coverage and confuse Tyson after they saw him kind of carve up their defense in the first half.
Yeah, it's difficult. St. James always with 4 receivers. You need to have 5 DBs really to counteract that. Blitz coming. He goes to Chase. And incomplete. Looks like Chase wanted to break that route off a little sooner than he was able to. Luke Wolverton, the 5'10 linebacker, in coverage on Chase on that play, setting up a second down and 10. St. James is rotating linemen a little more right now. We've seen Nate Bright and Jack Marcia rotate a little bit. Nate Bright, the sophomore, brother of George Bright, former starter for St. James, getting in now for Marcia. Second down and 10, St. James. 10:23 left in this third quarter. Tujak flexes out, QB draw, B-Shore. He has some daylight, running for, gets the first down and then some. That was Andrew Wolverton, the junior, in on the tackle. And a very impressive play. You saw that athleticism. You talked about it, Jonathan. A quick burst for the first down for St. James.
Absolutely. Great burst of speed up the middle from B-Shore. And this is something we saw last week as well, coming out of half, a little bit more of that QB draw game. We saw it at the end of this first half as well on the 1 scoring drive last week against Aquinas. We're seeing it again here. And you see how effective it is, especially when those linebackers are used to looking for those crossing routes all game long.
Wonder in motion, making it through receivers on the right, and snap bounced, and that is not what you want to see if you're St. James. Bringing up some of the horrors of last week where St. James muffed 2 snaps, 4 turnovers. St. James a little more lucky to recover that one. It's going to be a loss of 4, making it a second down and 13, maybe 14 here for the Thunder.
This is kind of something we alluded to at the half, but St. James really, they have been their own biggest enemy. The negative plays, the penalties have really been all that's been holding them back from having a lead in this game. So you really have to see them clean that up.
Yeah, that was first mistake really of the drive, and St. James is going to throw. Looks like a little mesh concept. It's going to be moved. Great spin by Sam Neeson. What a move that was. He was tightly covered there, juked one guy and juked another. And Neeson gets forward for a gain of 11, making it a third down and 3.
Absolutely, very nice play from Sam Neeson there. And again, him and B-Shore on the same exact page. That ball is coming out before Sam Neeson has even fully turned around so that it can get there without being picked. Just a great timing all around from this offense so far.
Third and 3, you hear that Blue Valley Northwest student section making some noise, and they got him to jump, and that, again, is a smart decision-making there by St. James. Jackson Cantu, the center, and Tyson B-Shore, the quarterback, both doing a good job there, drawing off sides the Blue Valley Northwest defender, and that's going to make it a first down, and that's really big. Going from a 3rd and 3 to a first down, that's really, really huge for St. James.
Absolutely, and you know all those snap counts that are on too. It's a little bit of a risk every time because sometimes skill position players, offensive linemen are just so raring to go. They get a little twitch, and that's all it takes for a -5. Great discipline there from the whole Thunder offense to not move and allow Blue Valley Northwest to jump.
So back out to the 5 wide. We've seen this more and more as the season has gone on. 4-man rush, not much going, and it's picked off. Picked off by the Huskies, and it is going to be brought back. Here he goes. He has all kinds of room to run. B-Shore almost gets him out. He is still on his feet. Neeson trying to chase him down, and touchdown Huskies. Barely at the end. There is a flag. It looks like maybe not a touchdown, but nonetheless, the interception will stand. Joseph Arnold picking it off and bringing it back. The flag is in St. James's 37-yard line on the sideline, so likely a hold, you would assume here on the Huskies. And the miscommunication between Chase and Beshore cost St. James.
Yeah, it was tough to tell what really happened there. It looked like maybe Chase got a little bit caught up running his route and just wasn't in the position that Beshore expected him to. And we've been talking about these receivers and Beshore being in sync, being on the same page this whole night. Just looks like something went wrong there because that pass was really right to the safety. Safety had good position on it. Just an unfortunate turnover.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where, you know, a guy as smart as Beshore, he's not going to make a mistake like that just, you know, off what he's seeing on the field, right? There had to have been something there, maybe a nice disguise from Blue Valley Northwest, maybe a miscommunication on the route, but something there was wrong. I don't really think you can really fault Beshore or the play calling on that one. Nonetheless, Huskies are going to get the ball at the 47 after the penalty. St. James lucky to not have it brought back for 6. Now the defense has to put together another stand after a second turnover of the night for St. James. It's going to be Nathan Baxter in at quarterback. They're going to have LJ Bowens at running back. We've seen the Huskies rotate a little bit at both of those positions. Same 4 receivers we've seen all night long. Quick pass caught. Brought down quick was Logan Chandler, number 8, on the outside.
Great.
Gain of nothing there for the Huskies.
Great tackle over there by Jordan Boone. He's been a very solid outside linebacker for this Thunder defense. Made a lot of tackles in space like the ones you just saw. And those tackles, they're crucial because behind him, there's not really anyone in a zone behind him. You know, Drury, Hornback are both dropping deep to watch out for the deep ball. So those really are huge tackles.
They're going to give. Running back has some space to run. Hornback almost brings him down. Finally pushed backwards by Boydston and others. Gain of about 7. LJ Bowens on the carry for the Huskies. You talked about Jordan Boone. He's a really important player. St. James likes having a guy like Boone in that spot, kind of in the slot, cornerback, nickel, whatever you want to call it, that sort of area closer to the quarterback because it offers a guy that can blitz and a guy that can blow up maybe a screen pass if a blocker tries to go out in space and block him.
Yeah, it's really one of the most versatile positions on the defense. You know, you've got pass coverage, you've got run blocking, you've got blitzing. You really have everything that Jordan Boone has to be able to do to a high level.
Give to Bowens. Ooh, he darts outside, finally getting brought down. He is still on his feet. Man, this kid can really run the football. The junior looking good right now for the Huskies. Gain of about 10 for a first down inside the St. James 30-yard line.
And we talked a lot about how St. James has to keep continuing to bring him down on first contact. And looking a little shaky on this drive so far, kind of bouncing off tackles more than he has in the first half. St. James has to dial back in and make sure you are getting him down at that first contact and not allowing those extra 2, 3, 4 yards after.
Yeah, his footwork looking really, really good out there for the Huskies, making guys miss before they're even close to him just because he is so quick with those feet. And it's going to be a keep now by the quarterback, Baxter. You haven't seen him run a lot, but he can run over 50 rush yards on the year. He gets about 8, maybe 9 on that one. And it's going to set up a second and short for the Huskies.
Now you see both teams going to that QB draw game. And really, it's just taking advantage of what the defense isn't looking out for. You know, St. James very concerned about that running back run. Blue Valley Northwest is concerned about that short passing game and just hitting them with kind of a quick hitter up the middle. It's been very effective for both teams.
Second down and 1 here. Tighter formation for the Huskies. One receiver is Marshall down low. Garlington also at the top. It's going to be handoff to Bowens. He has a lot of room to run. Big hole opened up by the O-line there for the Huskies. Gain of 6, maybe 7. We talked about the O-line at the beginning, and they really have found their way in this game right now. They are really, really doing a good job making things easy for the running back.
For sure. I mean, you saw it on that play, probably a 2-yard wide hole that Bowen just had to run right into. We talked about it the past 2 weeks. Controlling that line of scrimmage is huge, and I think Blue Valley Northwest is winning that battle so far, which you obviously do not want to see from a defensive or offensive standpoint, but St. James has time to turn that around.
Yeah, and St. James is really getting tired. They're having to rotate a lot of guys. Max Jaquette, he's barely been out all year. He's out right now. They run And it's going to be a gain of about 7 or 8. Looks like the ball could have been out, close to a fumble there. Risky handling of the football there, but Nathan Baxter goes down after the gain of 8, making a 2nd from the 5-yard line.
And you made a good point, Will, about the fatigue of this defense. You know, we talked a lot last year about how the defense couldn't really get off the field. I think it is worth noting that star defensive end Max Raquette has been dealing with a hamstring issue for the entirety of this season, so maybe that's why he's out, but also just keeping the guys fresh is huge.
Hand off. No, he's going to keep. He even had us tricked up here. Touchdown, Nathan Baxter sliding into the end zone. That is not what you want to see if you're St. James. You drive down the field and can't convert. Northwest does it right back at you. And right now it feels like this game is just as simple as who can finish off their drives.
For sure. I mean, both teams have been able to move the ball pretty similarly. It's just St. James with those 2 red zone turnovers, Blue Valley Northwest with none. They've finished pretty much every single red zone drive, and like you said, that's the difference in this game.
So now St. James looking to be down 11 or 12. Pending this PAT, the offense will have to respond. But first, PAT from Trace Rudd. He's 2 for 2 on the day. That will make it 3 of 3. So 21-9, Huskies on top. CatholicFaithStore.com is a local St. James family-owned business offering Catholic medals, rosaries, statues, and more. And they're another great sponsor of the Crimson Club. Thunder families get a 10% off their purchase with code SJA10 at CatholicFaithStore.com.
Performance Rehab provides patients with effective outpatient rehabilitative care from physical therapy to sports medicine services to industrial injury rehabilitation. We are excited to welcome Performance Rehab as a new sponsor of the Crimson Club.
Same returners as it's been all night, Chase and Tujak for the Thunder. Rudd likely probably just going to kick this one out the back of the end zone. That's what we've seen all night. Though some teams, they like to maybe make a guy return it and hope that you can down him further back inside the 20. But if you got a kicker that can kick it out, not much of a reason not to. There is Rudd with the boot, and it goes out the back of the end zone. St. James will start at the 20-yard line.
Really, the story of this drive is going to be, can St. James just take care of the ball? I know we talked about it coming out of the half, but they've been their own worst enemy in this game so far, and that's the only thing that's been stopping them is those costly turnovers. If they can just, they've got to be able to clean that up. I feel like a broken record saying it again, but really that's the only difference in this game is the ability to finish the drives, as you said earlier, Will. So definitely looking for a good response from St. James here, trying to put together a drive that will likely take us into the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and it kind of just sucks for St. James. It really is simple right now. There's more turnovers and penalties on them than there are in Blue Valley Northwest. That's the only difference. And Tujak is going to bounce it outside. Finally brought down, looks like maybe got forward progress up to the 25, so that puts him at a 2nd and 5, gain of 5 on a nice little run there from Tujak.
You know, after the fumble, John Tujak really has played a great game. He's been involved, obviously, in the run game, but in the passing game as well. He's had a couple key catches for first downs, and he's averaging probably 4 or 5 yards a carry. Very good bounce back few quarters after that fumble early.
Yeah, you know, Tujak definitely had to be frustrated. Football, one of the only sports where being mad actually can help you out a little bit. I think you're seeing that now. Tujak cut inside, and he is right at the first down marker. Let's see if they give it to him. They're going to. So 2 carries get St. James 10 yards. This is the start St. James needed for this drive.
For sure, getting the run game going is never a bad thing on the offensive side of the ball. But again, look for some of these short passes that will come later, Maybe look for them to push the ball down the field a little bit. You've got Parker Chase, Sam Neeson. I know they're both itching for a big play here, so.
Yeah, and this play action pass game, St. James doesn't use it often, but it is effective when they go to it. And here it is right here. Neeson was open for a split second. They don't go to him. That's who B-Shore was looking at before he's brought down. Gain of maybe 1 there. That was Sawyer Williamson, the senior linebacker, on the tackle for the Huskies.
Yeah, great coverage by Blue Valley Northwest on the near side. I know Joseph Arnold, the cornerback down there, as well as Trevor Garlington. but you saw him looking for Chase and Albright on those out routes, just nothing there. Credit to the Huskies secondary on that one.
Yeah, and this is a soft zone the Huskies are playing. They're giving up a lot of those flats, but they're adjusting a little bit. Those corners are staying just a little bit closer to take away some of those outs, quick screen passes, that sort of stuff. So that could open up some intermediate stuff in between that deep safety and corner playing lower. We'll see if St. James tries to take advantage. They're going to go deep, incomplete. Going for Parker Chase over the middle. Make it a 3rd and about 8 now for St. James.
And again, I like to see the aggression. Bishore recognizing the one-high safety, trying to just go at the seam right there. But I think another thing to watch is these corners from Blue Valley Northwest. We talked about it a little before the last play. Their coverage has kind of been changing. You know, typically throughout the first half and for most of this drive, they've been about 9-10 yards off the ball. But on that last play, they were up in that press coverage. So it looks like they're trying to take away that underneath stuff just a little bit more.
Yeah, and that could set up the big play. It also could really backfire for the Thunder. It's going to be 3rd and 8. Bishore, he has time. He hits Neeson underneath. He's going to need to move upfield to get that first, and he does, leaping out. Let's see where the spot is. This is a really critical call, and they're going to mark him 1.5 yards short or so. Looked like he extended the ball, but maybe it was out of bounds when he did so. It's going to be 4th and short. And the way this game's going, St. James kind of feels like they have to go for it here.
For sure. I mean, it's only 1 yard. I think they can, I hope they can get easily here. I don't want to jinx it by saying I think they will, but yeah, absolutely. Down 12, you got to go for it.
Quick pitch to Tujak. He's going to get the first and then some. Great play call. St. James has done a great job. Teams are really expecting St. James to go QB sneak when they go under center now because St. James has done it so much with so much success in the past. So some of these counters, such as that pitch you saw there to Tujak, are really working. And St. James gets the first down.
Yeah, that outside pitch is a little risky because you've got more of a chance to get tackled for a loss there, but also on that play you can catch him a little off guard there. Like you said, well, they're expecting to run up the middle, so that's an easy 3-4 yards on the outside.
Neeson just walked off the field, looked like he was dinged up just a bit. Tujak is going to burst forward. He is still on his feet, brought down. There was not much of a hole there, but he shot through it and gets a gain of about 13. John Tujak looking really good on this drive for St. James.
I like Joshi taking advantage of only the 3 defensive linemen in that last play. It looks like Blue Valley Northwest has gone to some sort of a 3-4 defense here, and they saw with that extra offensive lineman, that's the second double team you can have.
Quick screen, they go to Chase. Chase fights forward, gets 4, maybe 5. Joseph Arnold did a nice job fighting off the block from Brugman. It's going to be 2nd and medium.
And here again, the Thunder have moved the ball pretty well, about 60 yards here. There's my math right. 50 yards here.
There you
go. And so it really it's just on them to finish this drive. You know, maybe on the very verge of field goal range here, but definitely down 12 at this point. You want to go for that touchdown. You just got to take care of the ball.
3 minutes or so into this drive. St. James going to run it with Bishore. Here he goes. He is darting up the field. Is he going to get there? He is. Touchdown, St. James. 1 play, 1 touchdown. Tyson Bishore, he looked electric on that run for the touchdown.
And there's that athleticism we were talking about earlier. That burst of speed up the middle really is crucial. You know, you see Bishore a lot faster than he looks when he's back in the pocket because he's just fast enough to get through those big blocking from the offensive line as well. Their blocking really has been stellar on these QB draws. You saw Lyman up in that second level, just allowing Bishore to hit that hole, and he does it very hard, gets all the way up.
PAT up, PAT good. So St. James makes their 2nd PAT of the night, making it a 16-21 game. And that was a beautiful drive from this St. James offense. And you really love to see that there. Next in our best of series, our yearbook class brings us pictures from senior retreat at Prairie Star Ranch. Back here, Johnson going to kick it out the end zone. St. James got the response they needed on the offensive end there. Tyson Beshore, that guy just looked like a gamer that drive, really going and putting out his best effort that drive for the Thunder.
Absolutely. You know, a lot in the football world, there's a saying, you can win with a guy or you can win because of a guy. And that is a win because of a guy play right there. Tyson Beshore puts the team on his back and goes and gets that touchdown. Kind of reminds me of a guy in the NFL, quarterback called Josh Allen. The Bills win because of Josh Allen. And Tyson Beshore, shades of Josh right there. I know that's some high praise, but I saw the comparison.
Yeah, you looked a little bit like Jason Bean on that one. That's who I saw. Speedy quarterback over at Kansas, now in the NFL. 1st and 10 now for the Huskies at the 20-yard line. They're going to give to Bowens what's new. They're going to get 7, maybe 8. And St. James, they need to find an answer for this ground attack because they really haven't found any consistent way to stop it through 3 quarters or so of this game.
For sure, and that's something we did talk about a lot pregame, how this Blue Valley Northwest offense is pretty run-heavy, not quite as run-heavy as Aquinas, but that they've got to really have the same level of intensity as they do going into Aquinas with the same focus on stopping that run.
2nd and 1. Bowens again, they had a couple pulling blockers there for Bowens. He gets about 6 on the carry. And again, we've talked about it. You don't want to give up the yards, right? That's a big issue. Possibly an equally big issue with St. James down 5 is the clock. When you run the ball effectively, the clock just trickles down, and St. James being down 1 score. If Blue Valley Northwest scores and takes maybe 4 or 5 minutes, it's going to be really hard for St. James to come back in this game, no matter how good the offense does.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to get stops, but more importantly, you've got to get stops pretty quickly to allow your offense time to work. You know, none of the drives in this game, apart from that last drive of the half for Blue Valley Northwest, have been quick, so you really do need time.
And that's the play St. James needed. That was Sam Charlton, the junior, in on the tackle. He's been rotating in D-tackle and D-end, and that was the first negative play St. James has forced in a long time, and the exact sort of play you want heading into the 4th quarter.
At the end of the 3rd quarter, our score is 21, Thunder 16.
The Lemon Out has become a St. James Academy volleyball tradition. This year, our yearbook and marketing department caught some amazing pictures from this incredible event. Here's the next installment in our Best Of series. Chandler, play action. He might have a guy. It looks like he does. Garlington, he was wide open the entire time. Skahan brings him down at the 15, and that right there is what you call a coverage bust. Garlington ran by the St. James secondary unguarded, and somebody didn't do their job there, setting up the big play. 2nd one of the night for Garlington on one of those deep pops.
Yeah, it's the 2nd connection from Bevins to Garlington, and those have really been the chunk of Blue Valley's yards on their scoring possessions. Definitely have to clean up that secondary. I know Denton really likes to preach for no one to get behind those safeties, you know, in that quarters coverage St. James runs. And so they've really got to get back to keeping the top on the defense.
That's one of the things when you have an aggressive cornerback like Hornback out there, he's going to maybe bite a little more. Nice run by Bowens there. He's going to fight for about 6 on that one. And now inside the 10, this run game going to look all the more better for the Huskies.
Holding Blue Valley Northwest to a field goal here would be absolutely huge. It's got to be what's on the defense's mind right now, because then it's just a 1-possession game where you go down with a chance to tie it on the next possession.
11 minutes exactly and counting on the clock. 2nd and 5. St. James needs one of those negative plays like Charlton had earlier on this drive. It's going to be Bevins right up the middle. Whipped around, but looks like he got a gain of maybe 4. Let's see where they mark him. It's going to be a yard short of the first down. Trialing in on the tackle for Thunder. Looks like a man is down. That is Andrew Babaloa, the 5-star offensive tackle for this team. This guy's got an offer from pretty much every single school in the country that is competitive at football, it feels like. Certainly you wish the best for him here. Freedom Physical Therapy and Training Center is proud to sponsor St. James Academy and working to form the whole person. We look forward to helping others find freedom in their body, mind, heart, and soul. Go Thunder.
Patrick Exteriors is a local, family-owned business since 1996 and is the leading installer of James Hardie siding products in Johnson County. Patrick Exteriors knows the problems and solutions for homes in Kansas City and is a 3-year member of the Crimson Club.
So Babaloa jogs back to the huddle, obviously hoping he is healthy. Certainly seems like he might be here. 3rd down and 2. Looks like they moved the ball back maybe half a yard there. This is an opportunity for the St. James D-line to really step up. Andrew Moyer, number 55, had a standout game week 1 for Thunder. We haven't called his name much tonight. This would be a good opportunity for him. Sam Charlton, those 2 D tackles right now for Thunder to step up and make the play.
I think the whole D-line's got to be looking for another QB draw from Bevins. We've seen it inside the 10 on both ends of the field, and I feel like it's coming again.
They're going to give instead to Bowens. It's going to be a first down pretty easily. Boydston in on the tackle. It's going to make it a first and goal from about the 3. Bowens has ran for 220 yards on 30 carries so far this year. Splitting less time today with Waldorf than he has most of the year, but he has looked real good tonight. Tries to make Boydston miss. St. James gang tackles Bowens there. It's going to be a loss of about 1, and St. James, this bend-don't-break defense, if they could not break here and get off the field, giving up only 3 or 0, that would be so indescribably huge for St. James.
Absolutely, because that keeps it at a 1-possession game. And I know we talked a little bit in the 3rd quarter about how at this point in the game, the clock is not your friend if you're down. You really got to manage the clock. And so getting the offense on the field to try and go score quick is exactly what you need.
Worst case scenario here, I think, for St. James, you get it to 3rd or 4th down, then they score because that clock's going to wind down every play. So if you don't let him score here, you have to stop him. If you're St. James, Bevins is trying to push forward. He got a couple yards. His lineman didn't go very far. St. James thought they got the ball out. They whistled it dead, so I don't believe they'll give it to Thunder. They'll make it 3rd and goal from the 3
and
on the right hash.
There was that QB draw we were talking about earlier. Bevins, obviously a big guy, I believe listed about 6'4", so they got to be vigilant for that again here potentially.
It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 3. They did bring in Waldorf, the backup at running back, so I think even more likely to see a pass or a QB run here. Yeah, and that is going to be what they go. Tries to juke one guy. It's not going to work. Boone and Bevitt in on the tackle, and that is a huge stop. Not only not allowing the touchdown, he might have lost a few yards there, setting up a harder 4th down, and now it is decision time for the Huskies.
Absolutely, 7 yards is not an easy play, and it looks like the kicking unit is going to come on. So like you said, Will, great job bending but not breaking there from the Thunder defense, keeping this at what's going to be a 1-possession game. It's just outstanding effort there on the goal line.
Yeah, and this is where you need to not mess it up if you're St. James. Do not rough that kicker. Do not get a penalty here. You have done the work as a defense. Mission accomplished. Make the field goal, miss the field goal, doesn't matter. You have done your job. Kick looks like it is right up through the uprights, and it is. 24-16 is the score. St. James down 8, but still a 1-possession game with 8:10 left on the clock. SJA Soccer has had an amazing start to the season with a win over Aquinas. It was a pink out that night in our yearbook stop. Caught some great pictures. Here's the next installment in our Best of series. James will be returning the kick here. Down 8:10 on the clock. Probably a little bit too much time to make this one long touchdown drive for the Thunder. It's going to be Trace Rudd back to kick off here for the Huskies from the 40-yard line. It is going to go out of the end zone once again. Nothing new for St. James. They're offensively starting in familiar spot at the 20-yard line here. 80 yards to go to punch in a touchdown for St. James. This is the first time we've had really a competitive game going into the fourth quarter. Both games have been decided kind of before this point the last couple weeks, so this is a point where St. James, the rest of the game, you need to see a lot of poise out of all your players, especially at the quarterback position.
Yeah, and you talked about it earlier, Will. We've yet to see Tyson in a crucial position in a game like this. So now it's going to be how can he manage the adversity? How can he, kind of be that on-field coach to the rest of the team to get them down in a scoring drive here? Because if you don't score here, I think with the way Blue Valley Northwest runs offense, it's going to be very tough for you to get the ball back with time.
Francis Mangini in motion at receiver. Tujak, he is still on his feet. He makes one guy get off of him, and he fights for a gain of about 8. Joseph Arnold in on the tackle. They're going to say it was a first down, actually, giving a little more yardage on the forward progress up to the 30-yard line. Interesting, St. James bring in Mangini. He plays that slot receiver position, but he also plays quarterback. So, Jonathan, you mentioned earlier some trickery. We've seen St. James already once before have Mangini throw a touchdown pass. That's something to watch as number 18, Francis Mangini, stays on the field here. It's going to be Tujak. He is running to the near side. Yeah, that was going to be a hold. Looked like maybe number 66, Jack Marsha there. That's what the call will be. Leavenworth Oral Surgery is a proud sponsor of St. James Academy Crimson Club. Go Thunder. So that's going to set St. James back here, make it a lot harder. It's going to be a first down and 20 now from their own 20-yard line. And again, this has been what really's been killing the St. James drives, turnovers and penalties. At least it's on first down. That's the good news, but still 3 plays for 20 yards. That's kind of difficult for any offense at this level, especially St. James. 4 on the clock. Play action. Quick pass to Mangini. There he is, fights for about 6, maybe 7. It's going to still be a second and long, but St. James gets a chunk right there. Gain of about 8.
And obviously in this position, not only are you trying to go score, but you're looking at the clock too. You're looking to see how much time your drive is taking up, how much time you're going to leave Blue Valley Northwest if you do go score. Now obviously you have to worry about scoring first, worry about the clock second, but once you get down there, then it kind of becomes a clock management game.
Yeah, it's definitely a battle of coaches with we're entering the final 7 minutes in this one. Bishore's going to have to get outside the pocket. He looked like he was still looking to go downfield. Ultimately goes out of bounds after a short gain. Sawyer Williamson forces him out. It's going to be 3rd down and long now for Bishore and the St. James offense.
Looked like he maybe had Parker Chase over the middle, but potentially was past that line of scrimmage by then and was unable to hit him. Now you see him talking with Joshi. Maybe he sees something in this Husky defense that he wants to exploit, is asking Joshi what he thinks, but could be an interesting play call here. I would not be surprised if we saw maybe a big play on this 3rd down.
Yeah, and I like that St. James is giving Bishore some of that freedom to at least have the conversation about what to call here. I think that's huge. Here is Bishore. Nice catch, one-handed by Neeson. Harder than it needed to be. He fights for it, gets maybe 5. You have to think St. James is going to go for it here. This is still going to be a difficult 4th down, 4th and about 7. Maybe 6 yards here. They're going to need to get past the 40-yard line to get the first down. Ball is at 34, and Bishore and Joshi again still discussing what they want to go with here.
I think if I'm St. James here, I'm either looking for some of those out routes, those intermediate out routes that we've seen, or I'm rolling Bishore out, trying to look for something down the field, and if not, just falling back on his scrambling ability to pick up that first.
So here it is. Bishore pumps once. He has Chase. He gets the first. biggest play of the season, executed well for the first down for St. James, and he goes to his most trusted target, Parker Chase, for the first down.
And there we see it again. Beautiful scheme, beautiful execution from the receivers to just find that spot in the zone. You know, Joshi draws it up so that they should end up exactly where it is. He just sits right down. Be sure, again, great anticipation, hits him for, like you said, Will, the biggest first down of the season.
That's one of those plays as a quarterback and a receiver. There have to be a little bit of nerves there. It's the biggest play. You don't hit it, it's going to be hard to win, but real clutch play from St. James. Be sure, he's going deep. He has Neeson. He got him. Here goes Neeson. He is still on his feet. Touchdown, St. James. And they got the big play they needed to Sam Neeson. And St. James, a 2-point conversion is all that separates them from a tie with the Huskies.
Absolutely beautiful throw from Tyson Bishop. Put it right where it needs to be. Hit him perfectly in stride. He had pressure in his face on that throw also. Steps right into it. Puts the perfect amount of air under it. Beautiful catch and run from Sam Neeson. And there's that big play we were talking about that St. James, we wanted to see them get back to. Done to perfection right there.
Couldn't have been a better placed ball from quarterback Bishore, and Neeson doing the rest. Neeson is out after that one, probably a little bit tired, and he was dinged up earlier. So now Wonder, Mangini, Chase, and Jet at the bottom. Biggest play of the game now. It's going to be a motion, and it's going to be called a timeout by Coach Radke. It looked like maybe just 10 guys on the field. Tujak was out. BSN Sports is a team supplier specializing in high-quality athletic apparel, footwear, and uniforms. BSN Sports provides convenience for coaches, which allows the St. James Academy Thunder to focus on winning. BSN Sports is a proud supporter of the Crimson Club.
Performance Rehab uses the latest and most efficient treatments to meet your specific problem and guarantees your success. Experience the caring environment and the genuine concern they show. We're getting to know patients and their health goals. Performance Rehab is a proud supporter of the SJA Crimson Club.
Well, we'll see what St. James goes with here. That play, it looked like Mangini was in a little bit of an orbit motion there. Possibly they were going to pitch it to him and let him throw the ball. So there's that trickery you were talking about. But after Tujak was out on that play, you wonder maybe Blue Valley Northwest saw that and St. James changes their plan here. They're still in that same formation with the same personnel. So we'll see what the play is here. Mangini's back in motion. It's going to be a quick toss. Reverse. Mangini, he has two guys open. The catch is made. Touchdown. Alec Jett gets the 2-point conversion, and St. James gets that trickery. You called it earlier, Jonathan, and it worked there. And with 5:33 to go, we've got a ball game 24-24.
Absolutely beautiful. You know, all credit to Coach Joshi on that one. Drew it up to perfection. Had two wide open receivers in Jet and Parker Chase, and that's the second passing touchdown Mangini's had not lined up as a quarterback. You absolutely love to see it. I'm sure they practiced that in practice this week, knowing that they might need to use it. You know, the whole offense loves those type of plays, and just beautifully drawn up there from Joshi.
And it is risky, man, with how well Bishore has played. Having a play where you're taking the ball out of that guy's hands, it's a risk, man. It is something you don't love, and it would come back. I think there'd be a lot of criticism if that play doesn't work, but it couldn't have worked better. Now tied at 24-24. Let's see, this is a key play for the special teams. Special teams hasn't been great this year. St. James cannot let up a return here like they did earlier once Blue Valley Northwest got it up to the 35. Johnson will kick it out the end zone. So Northwest will start at the 20, and now the St. James defense probably with a little bit more life. 5:33 to go. Both teams have 2 timeouts left. St. James, I think the big thing here, you want to stop the run, but you can't let one of those big gashes to Garlington happen again.
Absolutely. And I mean, honestly, you do not want to be giving up points here, but if you do end up giving up points, you kind of want it to be quick if you're going to do it, so that way you have time to go score. But ultimately, you want to force maybe a 3-and-out here. This has to be the best the defense has played all season right here. This is the closest game we've had. Should be a good one.
It's going to be a handoff to Bowens up the middle, gets about 6. It feels like how much yards he's getting on first, second down. It feels like it's just getting bigger and bigger as the game goes along. It felt like it was maybe 4, 3, maybe 5 on those sort of plays in the first quarter, and now we're looking at maybe 6, 7, 8 every time. That really, again, credit to that offensive line. Andrew Babaloa, he was injured earlier, but he's back out there making a big difference. And they do have Nathan Baxter back out there. Again, they're rotating every drive who's playing quarterback. Ford Bevan and Baxter both have had some success. Hasn't seemed to play much of a difference. Give again to Bowens. Shoestring tackle made there by Bevitt. It's going to be short by probably half a yard on the third down. And back again, that same situation where the D-line has an opportunity to make a really big play.
Absolutely, and one of the differences that we have seen between these quarterbacks is all of the deep bombs to Garlington have come from Bevins. No, Baxter has yet to throw one of those deep balls, and you got to wonder if that's something St. James could maybe take advantage of here.
3rd and 1. Give to the back. He is brought backwards. Let's see. It looks like not a first. They're going to give him the first down. Oh, man. That was really close. They're going to give him the first down, though. Waldorf gets just enough. And already a minute has elapsed off this clock. St. James, they need their defense to step up because there's a real chance their offense doesn't get the ball back if the Huskies have this drive go how they want it to.
For sure, you said it well. I know Tyson would love to have the opportunity to go and try to orchestrate a game-winning drive, but the game is in the hands of the defense right now. They've got to do their job to even make that a possibility.
Give to the back. Waldorf gets a couple. Schreiner looked like he made the tackle there. Gain of about 3. I think if you're St. James, you really need a tackle for loss or a penalty, something to set him back right now. Because every single time they've had 10 yards to get a first, they've gotten it this game. So St. James needs to find a way to get that stop. It'll be interesting to see if the Huskies try to get some urgency at some point here.
I've got to think that they're perfectly content with taking this down and having this be the last possession of the game. They want their offense to be the one that can put the period on this game.
Quick pass, complete. Brought down is Thomas, Schreiner, Skahan, and others. It's going to be a 3rd down and 1 after the quick little hitch route to Barron Marshall, the freshman. This is a spot where I think if you're looking at the run game, St. James, they might try to be a little more aggressive on some of those turnovers, maybe try to force a fumble or go for a pick. Bad snap, it's not going to matter though. It's going to be a 1st down for Baxter. Gets about 3, Bevitt in on the tackle there. And a 1st down for the Huskies.
I think you said it well. The Thunder really need to force some kind of mistake from this Huskies offense in order to get off the field. They've taken half the time left in the game off, just advancing the ball 22 yards. So the Thunder defense really has got to figure out some way to force a mistake. And at what point, if you're the Thunder, if you think they're going to score, at what point do you start using those timeouts to leave yourself time on offense?
Back to the run. Baxter. Nothing was there on the first option, so he goes outside, gets 3. Like you were saying, it's about 25 yards for 2 minutes here, Jonathan. That's where I think, I think Northwest is going to try to run this clock down, right? But at the pace they're going, they're not getting enough yards to just, run 30 seconds off the clock every play. They're not. They only have 2 timeouts, so I think if you're Blue Valley Northwest, you're going to have to start thinking about maybe pass the ball a couple times, maybe get a little more aggressive, because you probably need to get at least to a 25 to be in field goal range that you feel comfortable with a high school kicker at this spot.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, we talked about how Rudd has the leg. I think he could make it from 50. It's just a lot less certain. You don't want to leave the game in those hands.
Play action. Nice play by Skahan there. Biggest play of the year by him. He went one-on-one with Marshall on the screen, or on the slant rather. And Skahan steps up, the senior, making a big play for St. James. And now a 3rd and 7. This is a spot the Huskies have not had a ton of success in tonight.
Exactly. Biggest play of the season really for the Thunder defense. Got to force some kind of incompletion or negative play.
You hear this crowd, this St. James crowd, really wanting to urge their guys on Huppy night and on senior night. 3rd and 7 from the 45. They have to get 6 or 7. It's going to be nothing on the carry, and that is Max Riquette, one of your leaders on the senior defense, and he makes a giant play. St. James is going to call timeout here. I think interesting decision, so that means it's a minute 29 left, and because of that decision, now the Huskies, they have 6 yards to get we'll see if they go for it. It's going to be really risky. They might be able to pin St. James back inside their 10 with one timeout, or they could try to go for it and try to, trust in their offense more. It's a really tough decision for the Huskies.
Yeah, I think that really is a necessary timeout by the Thunder, though. Got to stop the clock and give your offense time to operate. But how about that play from Max Arquette? Biggest play of the night to hold Baxter, who is a big guy, 6 foot 205, to just about 1 or 2 yards. And I got to do it. Shout out Uncle Lance on that play. Biggest supporter of TBN and of Max Arquette. Great play there.
Yeah, absolutely love that. And that's a play where I think I got to question the play calling a little bit there. It's 3rd and 7, and you're bringing in your quarterback that's probably a little bit of a lesser runner to run the ball. I just don't like the play call. It's kind of a scared play call, honestly, to have your quarterback run on a play like that.
Agreed.
And so now it's going to be a punt. Hornback is back there. He hasn't had the surest hands all year. This is a big spot for him. And he is back there inside the 10. He's ready for a deep punt. Big punt, not super high. Fair caught by Hornback at the 15. You have to think the coaches told him to do that because there was a lot of space there, but good decision by Hornback. And now if you're St. James, 85 yards for a touchdown, minute 24, 1 timeout. If you're trying to get a field goal, you probably have to go, I would say 60 yards or so. You have to get to the 20, 25-yard line to feel good about that. But right now, it's just up to Tyson Beshore in this offense to make some magic happen here in the final minute 24.
Yeah, I'd say their goal is at least get to that 30-yard line. Try to keep that field goal under 50 yards. I know Ben Johnson can do it. We saw him hit from 52 in warm-ups. But obviously, you want to get as close as you can. You still have that 1 timeout. Probably looking for some quick out routes here, just quick hitters, get out of bounds, move the ball off the field slowly but surely.
One of the biggest drives St. James has had in a while. It's going to be a jet touch pass to Neeson. Neeson gets outside. He gets a couple. That play probably called so that you get a guy outside and almost are for sure getting him out of bounds there. He does get out. He probably wanted a few more yards if you're a Thunder.
Yeah, minute 17 on the clock. No need to panic for the Thunder, but they do have to pick up some steady yardage on these plays. Still need about, 70 yards about for that field goal. So you got to keep moving. 77 seconds to go.
3 to the right, 1 to the left of Beshore. Forefront here for the Huskies. Beshore, quick pass. It's going to be caught by Wonders. Sure hands on that one. Gets 4, maybe 5. Those are a place you can't have, though, if you're St. James. If you're catching the ball in bounds, you kind of need to get it a first down. He was about a yard short there. Maybe a bit of a generous spot by the refs. Minute left in this one. St. James ready to snap it. Tujak flexed out. He's going to go to Tujak late. He's forced down. And for one of the first times all night, maybe not a great read by Beshore, and now St. James is going to wait. And Huskies are going to call timeout. So the same position St. James was just in a few moments ago where they called timeout so that Huskies would have to punt the ball quicker. The same is going to happen now with St. James. 45 seconds left, 1 timeout on both sides. It's going to be a 4th and about 4. It would be super risky to go for it. I think St. James probably just going to punt it here. We welcome you into the booth here. Big decision time, 24-24. St. James probably going to punt this football, and then it's probably 30, 35, maybe 40 yards after the punt before you're in field goal range. If you're the Huskies, this is a super, super important drive. If St. James chooses to punt the ball off for the defense here, St. James really needs to make sure they don't allow any points and get this game to overtime if they punt it.
Absolutely. I think punting is the right decision. You're too deep in your own territory to try to go for it here. 4th and 4, that's a pretty long 4 yards on 4th down. So hopefully, it looks like they brought in Ben Johnson to punt. So hopefully that he can pin them back pretty deep, hopefully get it to the 40 or the 30, so that way they do have quite a ways to go with only 1 timeout in 45 seconds.
And again, penalties matter here. You can't have a penalty if you're St. James. You can't have a penalty if you're Blue Eye Northwest. Garlington is back to return. He's at his own 35. Johnson tried to get him with the hard count. Get him with the hard count, it would be a first. That is not the punt you wanted. Oh boy, that was not great for the Thunder. That was about 15 total yards from the line of scrimmage. That's going to make it real easy for the Huskies. They're at about the 38. I would say they need only really 10 yards to realistically hit a field goal. And probably more than that to feel good, but they are really close to field goal range already, and you can kind of consider running the ball more from this point, or from this field position rather, than you would maybe if you were 20 yards further back.
Absolutely. I mean, this is where St. James really needs that mistake on Blue Valley Northwest part. They either have to force a turnover here or hope for maybe a holding call to move them back 10 yards. That would be huge.
Drop back. Baxter, incomplete. Tried to go to Marshall, just sailed it a little too far out of bounds. They've been avoiding Drury most of the night. Number 7, the other corner, going at Skahan. Skahan has done a great job in coverage against Marshall and Garlington, primarily two of the best receivers in the EKL. 2nd and 10, 37 seconds. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Baxter is back in at quarterback. He was the starter for this game, probably the guy they feel slightly more comfortable with here. Game on the line. It's going to be a counter draw to Bowens. Gets it to 32. That's where you're really close to field goal range. You're at the 50-yard field goal now, and a timeout will be called by the Huskies. So that is their last timeout used. That means running the ball pretty much off the table here.
Yeah, you've got to expect just some quick passes, probably towards the sideline from the Huskies here. You've got to be careful if you're the Thunder. Keeping a receiver inbounds on a catch could be huge, because that's 10 extra seconds that Blue Valley Northwest is going to have to rush to get their guys to the line of scrimmage. But like we talked about, this is really where someone on the defense is going to have to step up and force a mistake from the Huskies.
This is a play where if you're Max Riquette or Aiden Dryling, the two DNs, you pin your ears back and you go. It is best on best right now. St. James DNs against two of the best linemen in the state, guarding and protecting their quarterback. If one of those guys gets a sack, we're pretty much going to overtime. There's probably not time to get a field goal unit out there, and even if there is, they're going to be too far back. So if you get a sack here, you're going to overtime. That's all it is. You have to make a play here. Quick pass, looking, caught. Garlington got the first at about the 26. The Huskies likely are going to spike this ball, I'm guessing, here, or go for it. No, they're going to stay with 3 to the right, 1 to the left, and they are going to spike the ball. 21 seconds are on the clock, no timeouts.
Looks like it'd be about a 45, 46-yard field goal from here. 42, 43-yard field goal from here. We know that's within the leg of Rudd. It's just how accurate can he be? We're not really sure. I imagine Northwest probably got one more play through the air here before field goal unit. It's got to be a quick out here. And if at worst comes to worst, you got to throw an incompletion.
And you talked about it earlier, Jonathan. These guys, their mentals really are coming into effect. A risky decision to run the ball with Bowens, but it might pay off. He got up to the 20. And they called timeout. They shouldn't have any timeouts left, I don't believe.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
And I thought the refs are kind of arguing with the St. James coaching staff here. If they had another timeout, that changes the math a whole lot. And if St. James was playing this game like the other team had no timeouts, that really would affect how the defense would be playing out there. The video board said they had no timeouts. I believe they've used all 3.
I also thought they had used all 3, because I believe they had one, and I thought they used it over there on one of those far side plays, but maybe I was mistaken, or maybe the board was just wrong. It looks like the refs are maybe talking right now, but
this should be a penalty if they used it incorrectly. Thankfully, we have the Thunder Broadcasting Network here. You can just run back the tape and see, count for yourself.
You could. Imagine our film got used in like a replay of the game and to see if this officiating crew did it right.
That would really be special for us. But right now, it looks like they're going to say the timeout stands. They have it at the 20-yard line. If they kick from here, it would be about inside a 40-yard field goal, 37-ish from this spot. Their offense is still on the field. Again, this is where you go get the quarterback if you're St. James. I wouldn't be surprised if they bring a lot of guys. We're only going to bring 4. Riquette, he might get there. He won't. A flag is down. No, it's incomplete. I think that might be a hold maybe on the secondary. It was thrown before the pass, so it won't be pass interference if the refs call it correctly. If it is a hold on St. James, that's going to make it
a much easier field goal.
Much closer to a gimme, yeah. On the off chance it's on the offense, that would probably move them back 5 yards and make this a much more difficult kick. Let's see what the call is. It will be a hold on the defense. And it's one of those situations where you don't love that if you're St. James. On the other hand, if it was a hold or a guy scoring a touchdown, you'd rather hold the guy. So not great, but it's better than a touchdown, and now the game's going to come all down to the leg of Trace Rudd.
Yeah, it all comes down to this.
Trace Rudd, the junior kicker. He has been so consistent all night long. This is going to be about a 27-yarder from the right hash for the lefty. Kick is up, it looks good, and it is. So St. James will have 2 seconds left. And Trace Rudd probably just won the game for Blue Valley Northwest.
Yeah, the Thunder would pretty much need a miracle return here. I mean, it has been done before, but the odds are very low. You pretty much have to win this. I honestly, actually, Rudd is just going to kick it out of the back of the end zone again. Unless he wants, like you said earlier, Will, the Thunder are only going to be able to return it if the Huskies want us to. This could be one of those instances where they want us to, and he's just going to kick it to like maybe the 10-yard line and then just force the Thunder to run it out unless they do fair catch it.
If you're Blue Valley Northwest, and obviously much different situations, but you think back to Chiefs-Bills, AFC Championship game, 13 seconds on the clock. The Bills choose to kick it out of the end zone instead of kick it on the ground, and that cost them the game. Now, 2 seconds, that's a lot less likely to happen, but if you're the Huskies, right, you get the ball on the ground, because if you get the ball on the ground, St. James has to return it unless they kneel on it, right? And so I think that's what you have to do. I think kicking out of the end zone would be a bad decision here because you're giving St. James an opportunity to set up a play on offense, and who knows from there, right? I think you have a better shot of not allowing St. James to score if you're the Huskies if you put it on the ground. St. James has a special group here out on the field. Looks like probably there's their best athletes on both sides of the ball. And if you're St. James here, I'm guessing if this ball's on the ground, it's probably just a lateral game. You're probably throwing the ball backwards.
Yeah.
And just hoping that somebody gets open.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked to see maybe a squib kick here, just something difficult. And like you said, well, it's just going to be a game of laterals. Can they somehow miraculously pull it out?
St. James needs to be careful not to hold. That's always an issue on these type of plays. It is going to be a little bit of an onside. Hornback has it, or no, Jet rather, and here we go. It's rugby time. Wonder, ball on the ground. He has thrown it back to Neeson. St. James has the blockers on the right, pitches it to Brugman. Brugman, he's still on his feet. He's trying to get it out. He does get it to Chase. This might take a while. Neeson going far across the field. Here he goes. Here goes Wonder. Is he going to make a miss? He makes a man miss. There is still plenty of time here for the Thunder. Hornback back to Wonder. They need to be careful along the sidelines. Wonder chucks it deep. Ball on the ground. Doesn't matter. St. James moving the wrong direction. Here they go.
There we go. Still look good.
Chase backwards, and here we go again.
Jet. This has got to be the longest play.
There's a penalty.
Oh, no.
That's what you can't have if you're St. James, man. Well, now you got to go score if you're the Thunder. And here we go. Neeson chucks it across the field. That's risky. Hornback still has it. Oh, here he goes. Man are down. Man, everybody is gassed on this play. This is just a battle of the wills. Hornback, he wasn't down. No, he wasn't. Bevitt, it's over.
The longest play in the history of football, potentially.
They need to get these guys some IVs. They are dead on both sides after that one. And that feels really like what this game is all about right there. That feels like a great encapsulation of this game. Just back and forth, very unpredictable, and it ultimately just doesn't go in St. James' favor at the end.
Yeah, really unlucky loss. Losing by 3 hurts, but you got to commend the effort on the last play. I mean, there had to have been a dozen laterals at least on that play. You saw some all the way across the field, up to the 40, back down to the 10, all the way to the other 40. I mean, they gave it all they had at the end.
Yeah, and I think the best chance there for St. James, Wonder had a moment where it looked like he had 3 or 4 blockers in front of him. If he made one guy miss, maybe there's a crease. Maybe you get it past the 50. But unfortunately, Wonder couldn't progress the ball further upfield. And St. James takes the loss on a very dramatic play to end the game. We welcome you into the booth here. I'm Will Nichols alongside Jonathan May. Heartbreaking loss tonight, 27-24. St. James obviously you don't love to lose a game like this, but I think there's a lot of positives you can take it for the Thunder.
For sure. I think the offense definitely took a step back in the right direction. They were able to move the ball very well on pretty much every single one of their drives. It's just those 2 turnovers did prove to be pretty costly. I thought the defense overall played pretty well, holding them to 27 points, excuse me. That's less than they've scored in any other game this season. So I think that could be something to hang your hat on. But definitely what the Thunder were looking for, a bounce back after that 28-7 loss last week. And I think most importantly, a great game that they continue to build on going forward.
Absolutely. St. James defense has given up 28 points, and 27 points in their first 3 games. Very consistent group. And now we will like to thank everybody alongside us working here today for Thunder Broadcasting Network, all of our producers, directors, and camera operators. For Jonathan May, I'm Will Nichols. Good night, Thunder.